Shit. This shit funky, nigga. Gio, this you, nigga? What's the name of this one? This motherfucker funky. Nicks, Dimes, and Dubs? Okay, this for y'all smokers. Check it out. Yep, I'm a weed head. I get high all the time. I'm all alone with an ounce and it's all mine. I get high all day, every day and every way. In broad daylight, I don't care what they say. It's off the chain, I can't get it off my brain. Cause I'm addicted to the smell, addicted to inhale. Weed is my life, weed keep me acting right. Weed keep me rapping tight, weed keep me snacking at night. Non-smokers that trip, my message to you is marijuana is my friend and it is yours too. Marijuana is my friend and it is yours too. Marijuana is my friend and it is yours too.
You know we got ounces, you know we got pounces, but now we got nicks, dimes, and dubs. You know we got ounces, you know we got pounces, but now we got nicks, dimes, and dubs. You know we got ounces, you know we got pounces, but now we got nicks, dimes, and dubs. You know we got ounces, you know we got pounces, but now we got nicks, dimes, and dubs.
Now I got ounces and pounces, dimes and dubs, nicks and tricks, so you know I get love. Rolling on 2s and 3s plus 20s, you see. And if it's 2003, I'm rolling 2003. Whatever year it should be, whether it's Billy or Z, it's meant to be me. Like Adam and Eve, eating from trees. I'm selling these leaves, selling this weed, trying to make a couple of G's off a couple of seeds.
You know we got ounces, you know we got pounces, but now we got nicks, dimes, and dubs. You know we got ounces, you know we got pounces, but now we got nicks, dimes, and dubs. You know we got ounces, you know we got pounces, but now we got nicks, dimes, and dubs. You know we got ounces, you know we got pounces, but now we got nicks, dimes, and dubs.
I started off with shit, nothing but my dick, and a whole pound of weed that went oh so quick. And don't forget my word. You can't forget my word. When a nigga heard my word, I receive more herbs to serve. I got a bitch that dirt. Ooh, in the car I swerve. Yep. When I hit the curb, I think I struck a nerve. When I came to, I was surrounded by thugs showing me love, and my first words were Nick, Dimes, and Dubs. So we thought about it. Yep. It crossed our mind. It took a while. It took some time. The pros and cons, the friends and foes, the haters that's gon' trick off on us to the poles. We took care of those, and now my hustle long, my hustle strong. I guess my motherfucking hustle long.
You know we got ounces, you know we got pounces, but now we got nicks, dimes, and dubs. You know we got ounces, you know we got pounces, but now we got nicks, dimes, and dubs. You know we got ounces, you know we got pounces, but now we got nicks, dimes, and dubs. You know we got ounces, you know we got pounces, but now we got nicks, dimes, and dubs.
If it ain't a dub, then I ain't smoking. Well, maybe a dime, maybe a nick. Y'all make me sick. Give me some time and I'll tell you why that I can tell when you're high. Smell when you're high. Don't tell me you lie. Cause I'm like a hound dog. For miles and miles away, I can smell that get down fall. And I really love it. And I just wanna hug it. And I just wanna toke it. And I just wanna smoke it. If I ever go a day without it, it's unwillingly, not intentionally, but mentally, that shit probably be
they
killing
fronted
me.
me a quarter P, then I sold them dubs to thugs who smoke on drugs in clubs, who ride on dubs, no hubs, just rims, jean suits and Timbs. When I'm on the block and I'm posted up, heat on my hip just to roast it up. Wild niggas just don't give a fuck. We on the mission and we ain't wasting time. Cop the ounce of lime and got it off selling dimes. We on top now. Money making money, corner lockdown. Label is the focus, no more slanging, we just smoke pounds.
Girl, what's going on? We recording, goddamn.
My bad. Don't be getting the draws all up your ass and shit. What the fuck?
Don't trip, everything cool. You gonna smoke some weed with us later on?
Hell nah, nigga. Get your hands off me. Hell nah, fuck that. Nah. Nah. Bullshit. Right. The last time I smoked with y'all motherfuckers, I had dicks everywhere. My mouth, my ass. Goddamn it, every hole I had in my body. Goddamn it, what the fuck?
Shit, it's that girl.
Right,
No,
right.
fuck that.
Come on, baby, please.
Didn't I just explain it to you?
Just hit it for me.
Please.
Today my birthday.
Alright, I hit it.
Y'all looking for me? Y'all looking for me? Well, here I is. Hey! Yes, indeed. Your boy is back. It's on and it's popping on tonight. Yes, sir. Let's get ready. Let's get ready. Well, here I is. Here I go on another flow. And this is the relationship rehab show. I'm about to talk about a thing or two or three. And I hope that y'all come along with me on this journey, because we gonna learn about things, and I'm gonna say something about things. I don't know. What's up, good people? Hey, man, I'm excited to be here one more again. I feel so good because I actually started on time. I don't know how this shit happened, but I did. I was really surprised. I was shocked. I was like, holy shit. I got everything together and it's like 10:59. I'm like, oh my God, let's do this. I'm actually starting on time. I'm so proud of myself. I really am. I'm so proud that I was able to start on time. So I really don't care at this point what else happens in the show, because I've already got the win. Here's the win for the night already. I started on time. Say whatever the hell you want. Hey, the show went way left, man. It got all fucked up. Hey, man, I started on time. That's what I can say. Hey, man, it seemed like you weren't really making any points. Hey, man, I started on time. There's the win right there. Sometimes in life, you got to take the small victories, okay? You got to just acknowledge and appreciate the small victories, and then you go from there. That's just how it works in life sometimes. But I will say that actually, damn, CJ, you right. I should try to do that shit. Let me see if I can do that. Thank you, CJ Gunn. She said, because you got a good baby mama who take great care of your kids. You do all right. I ain't gonna front. You do all right. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna trip. You be all right with it. You know, take care of my kids. That's my baby mama, y'all. My baby mama always in my chat talking shit. Man. Jesus. Yeah, you do all right, though. I ain't gonna front. Yes, indeed. I got a great baby mama. Really, she does an outstanding job. I'm telling you one thing. I know when I picked her, that was definitely one of the things I looked out for, and she definitely passed that shit with flying colors. She know what to do with my babies. She makes sure they got the shit they need. She take care of my babies, because if she didn't, I'd go ahead and put in one of them little, what they call it, what did that boy Peterson do? Put them in a one of them 50-gallon barrels and have one of my best friends come in, ride with me and drop her ass off somewhere. What was that dude named? Scott Peterson. Scott Peterson. As I'll play with my kids, goddammit. And be like, man, she was here like 2 weeks ago. I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know what she had. I don't know what happened to her. People, I don't know, but get the fuck off my lawn. We ain't in, what was that? Illinois? We ain't in Illinois. This will stand your grounds and get off my property. That's what I be doing. She just came here and said, you ain't shit. I'm just saying. If I don't know shit about my wife, I know she know how to take care of my babies. I definitely made sure of that. Say, hey, let me make sure that this motherfucker take care of my kids. She ain't gonna. I don't know how to pin this shit to the chat though. CJ, I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know where I need to go to do that. I see the welcome to the live chat. Oh wait, it might be over here. Let me go to the main joint. Let's click on that and see. Yes, indeed. Let me see, where do I go to do that? Yeah, I don't know how to do what you, and it makes sense. I should just pin the shit right there in the chat, but I don't know how to do it. If I, wait. I think I do. So if I put it in the chat, and then I think once it's in the chat, I should be able to pin it. Yes, ha ha! Figured it out. Damn it! Yes. Thank you so much for that. That's what's up. Yeah. All right, there it is. All right, so we're good. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead on with my favorite part of the show.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Wine for me. Wine for me. Good wine for me. Wine for me. Good wine for me. Wine for me. Good wine for me. Good wine for me now. The time has come to take a sip or two. I'll tell you that what this wine can do. Ooh, it's so good. Only, babe. That wine for me. It's so good to me, yeah. All right, let me get off this bullshit. Okay, so here's one of the things that I love about doing what it is that I do. And I was thinking about the show, and like usually when I try to share the show out, I want to share it out to like certain groups that I got on my Facebook and stuff to where it's relevant. And I got, like certain relationship groups that I'm in, relationship rehab. Then I got certain a few political groups. I got gun groups and all that kind of stuff. And I was looking at just the overview of what it is I wanted to convey in my message and just really talk about the main point that I wanted to drive home. And oddly enough, this particular message kind of transcended into not just politics, but relationships. Oddly enough. And I was just like, wow, am I really that good? Or is this just the Lord using me? I just sometimes I just think I'm a vessel. Shandidabosha. I'm just telling you. And here's what I came up with. This particular debate, it was one of the things about this debate, because this happened back in August. And one of the things about it that really hit home with me was just the way that we communicate, which brought me to relationship rehab. So let me rehab some shit for you real quick. We're going to tear some shit down so we can build some shit back up. One of the biggest problems that we have in relationships is one of the reasons why I started the relationship rehab, and just in all of our issues that we have as people, black folks, niggas, society, community, whatever the case may be. This is one of the main issues that we have that can definitely be, a clear indicator across the board in all things that go on with us as people. Communication. And one of the things about communicating is that we overcomplicate communication. And one of the ways that we do that is by not being direct. When you're talking about asking questions and asking a direct question, and then the expectation with a direct question is a direct answer. Now, you can sometimes answer a complex question and get a very direct and short answer, but it should not be the other way around. If I ask you, did you go to the store? You should be able to just respond to me with a yeah, I did, a no, I didn't. Now, after that, if there are some other some other circumstances that came about after the fact of answering that question and you want to articulate that, that's fine. But a direct question deserves a direct answer. And here's the thing that where we have this problem. When we don't give direct answers to direct questions, one of the key indicators that I look at is your integrity, your character, and I just accept the fact that you're probably bullshitting. What you're really what your answer is at that point, I discredit it. Because what you're doing when you pontificate and make a long, drawn out response and actually do not answer the direct question I asked, then I know essentially you're full of shit. You either are trying to hide something, you are refusing to be transparent for whatever reason. You're refusing to be transparent, and it could either be because you don't want to admit something, or it could be because you don't want to answer this question directly because it may hurt your position, or it could be in direct conflict to your narrative. When you're talking about people and they lie to you in relationships and in politics, if they don't answer a question directly that you ask, now if I ask a question that got 3 parts to it, I should expect a 3-part answer, and it should be, fairly lengthy. But if I ask you a direct question and you don't answer me with you don't respond to me with a direct answer, then I know that you're bullshitting. And I may not call you out on it, but I do understand that what you're saying, and that what you either don't know the answer, you don't want to share the answer because you know it will either prove my point, or it would be a negative light on what your position is. So I just I really want people to understand this part about having a conversation. When what you're saying is true and what you're saying is righteous, direct questions, direct answers is always the way to go. You can build with being direct. Whether we agree or not, you still have now building blocks to actually build something with that. When you don't use that particular, if you're not coming from that perspective, and what you're saying is not right, what you're talking about, or what you believe in, or what your stance is, if it is not truthful, if it's not righteous, if it's bullshit, if it's an underlay for the overlay, or an overlay for the underlay, if it's some underhanded shit, if you're trying to scheme me or scam me, or you're trying to manipulate me, then you won't answer that question. If I caught your ass in a lie, you won't answer that question. So take that back to not just your life, not just in politics, take it back to your relationships. When you ask your significant other, when you ask that woman or that man that you're dating, and you want to actually get some information about them, you want to get a true answer, ask them direct questions. And that lets you know what type of person that you're dealing with. Because if a person can't be transparent with you, then what are you actually being with that person for? If I'm in love with you and you in love with me, and we can't have a direct conversation where I can just ask you something flat out and you can just respond to me and just be transparent and just be vulnerable enough to tell me the truth, then what exactly are we even entertaining each other's lives for? Why are we sharing our lives with each other? Now, that's on the relationship side of things. In politics, it usually directly points to 2 things. Either a person is ignorant about the subject or the question that is being asked, or the person is just flat out fucking lying to you. They have another agenda that they're trying to accomplish. There's some bullshit in the game. They lying. They full of shit. Whatever you want to call it. They are when a person tells you, no, I'm going to answer the question, but I'm going to answer it my way. When you hear people say that, And it's a direct, there is no other way to answer a direct question. Keep that in mind. If I say, hey, look here, Anthony Red Way of Life, are you in support of fast food, selling fast food? If you then respond with, well, see, the fast food chains, which were established back in 1947 by, then I know you're bullshitting. And that's what people do who are liars. That's what people do when they don't want to tell you the truth. They will deflect and try to either tell you a long-winded response or filibuster, or they will clearly start to answer and then pontificate onto something and tell you like a story or some shit. Like I pointed out a few weeks ago when I did that thing about with Barack Obama. Barack Obama is a storytelling motherfucker. Go back and watch that video I did, or just go and watch some shit with Obama. When he knows exactly what he's talking about and what he's saying is right and righteous and is true in what it is, and it's only a few moments of that happens, you will see him just answer straight up. Well, yes, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to do this. We want to get this done so that we want to get health care for everyone. Ask his ass about Obamacare, and that's what he's going to say. This is to provide health care for everyone. Ask him some shit about gun control. Well, see, here's what this is now. When we talk about gun control, it's not really gun control. It's make sense gun laws. That's what we're talking about. Nobody wants to take away your guns. Nobody wants to do this. We just want to have make sense gun. I just asked you a direct question. Do you want to take people's guns? Why are you making more laws for people who are law-abiding citizens? Why are you doing that when they are not the ones that are committing the crimes? And that's what they go off and do. They will spin some bullshit off into a whole nother area. And what I want people to understand is that when you're talking about the art of conversation, that is one of the tools people use to manipulate the response or to manipulate the conversation to where it supports their narrative. And when you're talking about people, when you ask them about just any type of things dealing with politics or dealing with society as a whole, when you ask a motherfucker about Black Lives Matter, they either won't respond or they'll talk some other shit. When you ask people about those other things, if they don't know or don't want to actually answer the question because they know that answering this question straight up will then be a challenge to what it is that I believe, all bets are off. All bets are off. I was on social media today, case in point, and then we'll get into the show. I was on social media today, and in a social media post, it was a meme talking about wearing masks. I asked the question and I said this verbatim, word for word. Do the masks that people generally wear actually work? I'll say it one more time. My question was, do the masks that people generally wear actually work? And the response that I got was, you a Trump supporter. You supporting Trump? Really? Really? You really gonna be one of Trump one of the Trump flock supporters? You really gonna be talking about this? What did Trump have to do with asking a question about a mask and if it worked? And I asked that question. What does who I voted for have to do with the question I asked? Because the people who voted, 95% of the people that I've come in contact with that don't want to wear masks, they voted for Trump. What does that have to do with the question that I asked? I didn't tell you that I didn't want to wear the mask. I actually wear a mask every fucking day. But my question was this: do the masks that people generally wear actually work? How does Trump have anything to do with that? Then it came to a point to me not having common sense and I should just wear a mask because essentially that's what they're telling us to do. That has nothing to do with the question that I asked. And it came to the point to where I just said, well, goddamn, if what I ask you can't get a direct response, and the reason why I can't get a direct response is because of who I voted for, what the fuck kind of world are we living in? What does that have to do with what the question I asked? It had nothing to do with politics. It had nothing to do with my political stance. And they came back to say, well, the people that ask these questions are people that voted for Trump. So basically, everybody else that did not vote for Trump, you're saying that those people are in complete support of masks. The people who don't say nothing about it, they're all Biden voters then. That's essentially what you're saying. Didn't ever answer that question. Came back with, well, I'd rather be one of Biden's part of Biden's flock than that clown Trump, that racist clown Trump. Still, my question again was, the people that wear the mask that we generally wear, does that mask actually work? That was the only thing I asked. That had nothing to do with who I voted for, had nothing to do with me supporting Trump, voting for Trump, cheering for Trump, whatever the fucking case may be. But the fact that I did, and the fact that somebody's response has something to do with that, that to me is troubling. Because it's not necessary. I could give a damn about what somebody think of me as far as who I voted for. But my thing is this: why would you use who somebody voted for as a part of a response to a question that had nothing to do with who they voted for? Hey, does anybody have a recipe for some good fried chicken? Oh, you must be a motherfucking Trump supporter, because all motherfucking black folks that didn't vote for Trump know how to fry chicken. You on some fuck shit. Now you trying to be black again by asking for a fried chicken recipe. Come on now, man. Hey, does anybody know, if Michelin tires are better than Bridgestone tires? Oh, here this nigga go with that Trump shit. This nigga here, everybody know that Trump owns Michelin. So if you talking about you trying to compare Michelin to Bridgestone, then that means you one of them Trump motherfuckers. Huh? Has nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. And it's like, how did we get to the point to where who you voted for, if I didn't like that candidate, I got a problem with what you say and what you ask or whatever it is you're trying to do. I have a problem with you. The same response I would give to somebody else who didn't vote for Trump would be what? If I didn't vote for Trump, if you didn't know that I voted for Trump, if I never disclosed who I voted for, then that means I would have gotten a different response. And I don't understand how that would matter about a question that has nothing to do with who I voted for. And it's fucked up at the point that I would have probably gotten a more intelligent response to the question I asked as opposed to a statement about who I voted for. And when I did that video a few weeks ago talking about AOC, talking about we need a list of the motherfuckers who voted for Trump, we need to know who these people are that voted for Trump in social media, all of the people that were pro-Trump and on their Facebook and their Instagram, we need to get a list together. I said, what the fuck kind of country are we living in as to where we can't have a fucking discussion about a fucking piece of PPE without it going back to Trump? I've never seen a group of people so obsessed with a man that has little to no impact on their day-to-day lives than I have seen with Donald Trump. I've never seen it. I tried to think back as far as I could. I tried to go with the, well, maybe people view him like a David Duke. I went back to a David Duke. Nothing. I went back to George Bush. Even when Kanye was like, George Bush don't care about black people. Niggas at least heard that and then let it go. These niggas been at this shit for 4 fucking years. And it is just an overnight. This dude was cool as fuck. Now he's a racist. That's just it. To where everything that that man has anything to do with, if they don't like him, they don't like you. That is insane. And it shows how weak-minded and how the propaganda has embedded itself in these people's heads, in these people's minds, to the point to where it is one of the things they use to make decisions. That is scary. That in itself is scary. The fact that I'm going to make a decision on how I respond or what I will or won't do is based on who you voted for. Nigga, it might as well be everybody needs to be, we need to split the country up into 32 NFL, into 32 sections and just represent NFL teams. If your ass ain't for the Titans, fuck you. You ain't shit to me. If you ain't for the fucking Bears, nigga, I can't stand you. I hate you. Don't root for the fucking 49ers, motherfucker, you ain't shit to me. You a stupid motherfucker. You a racist motherfucker. I hate y'all motherfuckers. Y'all niggas are the reason why the country's so fucked up, why the world is terrible. Why? Because you're not a Browns fan? I'm telling you. And it's absurd to me to where people, because my thing is going to be this. What's next? Who's next? So just like how when Obama got in the office, everybody blamed everything that was wrong with the Obama-Biden term, them 8 years, anything that was wrong with it, it was all Bush fault. Just because Bush did this and they ain't fixing it, and that's why it's so fucked up now, because that's what it is. Okay, so now that's what this is going to be. When motherfuckers come back and hold this motherfucking administration to task and say, hey, this is what happened. This is what's going on. This is what happened. Well, that's because what Trump had, see, Trump started all it. That's what it's going to be. And then when that shit is over, I'm wondering who's going to be the next Trump. Who's going to be the next motherfucker? Because I'm telling you right now, this is the move for the Democratic Party. This is what they do. This is their thing now. Whoever is against us or on the other team, all we gonna do is call them a racist and say that they racist, and then that's gonna be it. Niggas gonna run with it. The niggas is gonna run with it. If they ain't for letting niggas and Hispanics do whatever the fuck they want, they racist. That's what it is. That's what we gonna do. That's the move. That's the game. That's how we gonna play it. Because they see what you've done this time around. This time around, these niggas is sick because they really want to get me. I don't understand it. But that was just one of the observations that I've made about this. And then, like I said, it just tied into the whole thing about just having a conversation and being able to ask direct questions and just get direct responses. And that's what we're going to try to break down tonight. So without further ado, let's do this.
Hey, welcome to Hannity. All right, we're going to change format a little tonight. Buckle up. Far left New York City mayor, I affectionately call him Comrade de Blasio, 2020 Democratic hopeful. Well, Bill de Blasio, to his credit, he sat down with me for an exclusive one-on-one interview. So far, he's the only 2020 Democrat brave enough to come on this program, and we commend him for that. We covered a wide range of issues, went much longer than we thought. Obamacare, socialism, new Green Deal, police officers. No topic was off the table. Immigration, abortion, Second Amendment. We got them all in. So without further ado, buckle up. The media, you're going to love this. Part one.
Hey, man, is further ado.
Do you support walls on our border?
I support border security, but not walls.
No walls.
I don't think we need additional walls because, look, there's 11 million people here right now, Sean. This
Probably
is
more.
It may be, but this is what I don't get about the
Now, you see that? Direct question. Here's the answer.
whole discussion bluntly on this network and a lot of other places. 11 million people are here. They've been here for decades. This is the biggest don't ask, don't tell in American history. Why are we allowing ourselves to be divided by as a people when, in fact, this already happened?
Okay, how are you going to protect?
There's no invasion. There's people here already who are part of our community.
90% of the heroin that comes into this country crosses the southern border. Fentanyl, a big percentage, crosses the southern border. We're losing 300 people a week. You know all about the opioid epidemic in a big city like New York.
We fight it every day.
We have to save these kids. And so my question is, I think the 99% of people that want to come here want what we have, and I don't blame them. There is 1%, though. In a 2-year period, there were 4,000 homicides, 30,000 sexual assaults, 100,000 violent assaults by illegal immigrant criminals. The 1%. I want to be very clear. And my question to you is very simple. If you don't have the wall, how are you going to stop them?
People get in with a wall, without a wall. That's not how you do it. What you do is you create an actual border security mechanism. You have every tool you need, and you create a reality in our communities.
All across the border. No wall.
In our communities where police and community are working.
Did you hear what he just asked him? How do you do that without a wall? What do? Station a fucking border security person every motherfucking 20 yards along the entire border? That's what you do? How do you do that? And the whole point is this, and I couldn't understand why people had such a problem with a wall. Well, I understand for politicians, here's what the overlay for the underlay is. They want immigrants to come over here. They want immigrants to continue to flood our country. And the reason why they want to do that, it is because it creates another political base for them. Because the next move that's gonna happen with all of these immigrants that come over here, they're just gonna want to give them blanket citizenship. Just come in and we'll do it like we did, years ago when we had Ellis Island. Just come in here, we'll get you situated, we'll get you started, we'll get you. They want to do that because the politician that is responsible for granting blanket citizenship to these immigrants will have a whole new political base. That's exactly why they want to do it. They are concerned about they're looking at those immigrants as just potential voters. If I can get these people over here to vote for me, I now have a political base, which now gives me power. I can point them in a direction and say, hey, y'all come over here and help me do this. I can ask them to say, hey, y'all go and vote for this. Hey, I got y'all all citizenship. Y'all owe me. Vote for that. That's what they want. Because these politicians, Mind you, they don't have to deal with the fallout of this happening in our country. They don't have to deal with the MS-13 that's coming over here. They don't have to deal with the criminals that are over here. They don't have to deal with none of that. And no, it's not the majority of the people that are doing it. Just like in our country, the majority of the people in our country are not committing the most crimes. That's not how it works. It's a small percentage of people committing the majority of the crime. That's how it's always been. But why would you not want to have as much border protection as you possibly could to not necessarily solve the problem, but it's kind of like a tourniquet to help stop the fucking massive bleeding that's occurred? If it's all, and my thing would be this: if y'all want them all over here, then, like, and I've said this before, if we want to have all these immigrants come over here, all of you people that are in support of the immigrants and having the borders, no wall and all that, then you know what we need to do? We need to go ahead, get our armed forces, and take over Mexico. I'm telling you, that's what we need to do. We need to take over Mexico. Annex that bitch into another state, divide it up into 3 or 4 states, whatever we want to do. That's what we would have to do. And just make them all citizens that way. That way they ain't got to sneak over to no border because they already now are part of America. Other than that, you need to have some type of border set up, some type of wall set up to help thwart that influx of illegal people, illegal immigrants. Because what he says, we do pay for them when it comes to them going to the hospital. We do pay for them when they come and they actually are working and taking up jobs, and they're taking away jobs from other people that we're paying unemployment for, who could actually have jobs that could actually keep them off of unemployment. If I got 10 guys that normally work for $15 an hour and I can get 15 Mexicans to work for $8 an hour, why wouldn't I do that? No, I'm saying worse than Puerto Rico. We need to just take it. We kind of nice nasty with Puerto Rico. We just need to take that shit over and say this shit is ours now. That's it. And people don't realize this, all of the people that are in support of this. You can't go nowhere else in the world, Craig, the world, and just say, I'm here. You can't just take your ass to Germany and say, all right, I said fuck the U.S., now I'm here, y'all. Give me all of the shit that everybody else get here. Fuck this visa, fuck this passport shit. I'm here. I want to be a citizen of Germany. Auf Wiedersehen. You can't do that. You can't just walk over to another country and show the fuck up and just get citizenship. It is a process. And we have an actual process to where we actually do let people into this country legally. We find out who the fuck they are. We find out some information about them. What the fuck they coming here for? Are they working for the cartels or not? Shit. Are they one of the employees of Johnny Tapia? They work for Johnny Tapia and they want to just come over here. We just say, all right, come on. You don't do that anywhere else. And even when you look at, just like you talked about with the Arabs, over in the Arabs, they had so many people going over to was that Sweden? I think it was Sweden and England. They had such an influx of Arabs, but we had actually cut that shit off from the Middle East. But they had such an influx there that were getting over there and just fucking people up and committing crimes. It became an actual pandemic of crime. It was an outbreak of crime by the Middle Eastern people that came over to those two areas and they were just letting motherfuckers in. They just started getting fucked up. Like, damn, these motherfuckers just over here beating ass, stabbing motherfuckers. Motherfuckers over there ain't got guns. So they just getting fucked up and just taking it. If I can say nigga, I can say Arabs. Saying niggas, whatever you want to call it. I'm politically incorrect. But all I'm saying is that they let those people just come over, and that's what happened. It makes sense. Why wouldn't people just say, shit, this shit is for the taking, I'm gonna take it. Fuck you mean? Well, fuck everybody up. We gonna take us some shit. I ain't got shit. I ain't got shit to lose. Why not come over here and take a chance and fuck somebody up and take something that's mine, that I want, and make it mine? Makes sense to me. Why wouldn't we just say, hey, there's a process. I understand you motherfuckers is fucked up where y'all at, but goddamn it, we got more shit happening over here that we're concerned with than what's happening the fuck over there. Because all of these people that's saying, oh, we need to just let everybody in. Those people need help. They need asylum. The kids are over here. Fuck all that. When I got veterans that motherfucking fought for this country, that actually sacrificed their lives and are so fucked up because of the shit that happened to them while they were in war, to where they can't function in society, but yet and still we have no place for them to go, and they're sleeping under my fucking bridges. They're sleeping under the fucking viaducts, and they have no resources. Fuck some illegal alien that's trying to come over here. Sounds cool, but I'm telling you, that's just what my position is on that. How dare our country take more resources and have more concern for people who don't even belong here and aren't even here legally, when we have our own fucking veterans who don't have a place to sleep, that don't have housing, that don't have mental health resources. But a motherfucker who sneaks the fuck over here and shoots somebody up, and because they snuck over here too, they ain't gonna help the police catch the motherfucker, but they come to our hospital and they get care? Not to say that they shouldn't get no care, but we should damn sure care enough about our border to where we do something about it to help eliminate that, to help stave some of that shit off. People don't want to admit that shit. When you look at the greater portion of our fucking homeless across the fucking country, the crazy motherfuckers that's on the street, the motherfuckers that's sleeping in boxes, sleeping in tent cities and all that shit, the motherfuckers down on Skid Row, ask them motherfuckers how many of them served. Ask and see how many of them motherfuckers were veterans. They literally cannot function because of the shit that we put them through when they were enlisted. Why would we not say, well, hey, I understand these people got issues over here, but we need to help these motherfuckers. We need to go ahead. Yeah, I know everybody's worried about the cages that motherfucking Biden and Obama built, but fuck that. We need to build this mental health facility where we can have these patients come and fucking live, that are our veterans that came over and went and fought for this country, and they came back and they couldn't function. We have them, they can come here. Hey, they don't have to have a lavish motherfucking Club Med type of fucking facility, but they at least have 4 walls, 3 hots and a cot, some counseling, some therapy, some meds, you know, all of the shit we give our fucking prisoners. How about that for starters? That's all I'm saying. Can we not just, do we at least think that that's something we could possibly entertain? While instead of us donating $650 million to the John F. Kennedy fucking museum, do you think we could take some of that money that we put aside for COVID out of the $5 trillion? You think we could build a facility in every major city for our veterans? Do you think that's fucking possible? But what the fuck do I know? I'm just a coon. I'm just a part of Trump's flock. What the fuck do I know?
We have 170 crimes that if someone's convicted of them, they're undocumented, they're out of here.
Okay,
and
but
we
you do
work with
allow-
communities to make sure we find people who have done things that are inappropriate.
You sort of half have a sanctuary city, and those are.
I don't accept any of these terms. I want to talk about facts.
Here's the facts. Bill de Blasio has nearly 500,000 illegal immigrants in his city. Those are the facts. Those are the census facts.
500,000 motherfuckers. And you don't see that being a problem? I wonder why. Because you're looking at it as though if I can legitimize these motherfuckers, that's 500,000 votes for me. I could win a fucking city with that. Couldn't you? So why do you think he's for this shit? Because that 500,000, if he could just get half of that, along with the other motherfuckers that would vote for him, he could fucking win a city, couldn't he? Makes sense, don't it?
And you said you want New York taxpayers to pay for their health care.
John, right now, this is another charade, and you have to decide how honest you want to be.
I'm being.
So where do people get that health care?
Is that not true?
No, where do they get their health care?
Wait a minute, did you not say that?
Wait.
I'm being. You just accused me of being dishonest.
I'm asking
Are there 500,000?
500,000 people.
Do you want free health care for everyone?
I want every New Yorker. I'm answering your question.
Legal or
every
illegal?
New Yorker, everybody who's here.
Illegal or illegal?
To get.
Why wouldn't he just say legal or illegal? He said everybody who's here. So that would mean everybody who's here and everybody that comes here.
Legal
health care.
Here's what they want. I want taxpayers to pay for them, even though, and to his point, what he was trying to like finagle is saying that, well, they're already doing it. Yeah, but you want to raise taxes to the point to where everybody's doing it, and the fact that we gonna just say fuck trying to worry about it, trying to stop it, we just gonna get them all here and we got you. The people that bust their ass every day gonna give enough money or will give more money to actually take care of y'all and y'all situations. So just show the fuck up, everybody. We got you. That's it. Just show up, everybody. We'll take care of you because we're already doing it anyway. And it's not a problem.
Because what's happening right now? Folks go to the emergency room because they don't have a doctor, and who's paying for it? The same taxpayers.
So the
same
answer,
taxpayers.
It's a simple question. The answer is yes. You support.
And why wouldn't he just say yes? Because that's essentially what he's saying. But you know why he won't say yes? Because then it would make the taxpayers say, well, wait a fucking minute, Bill.
New York City. Hang on.
Why not have an honest conversation about the reality?
Let me finish my thought. Just to be clear, 500,000 illegal immigrants in New York City should get free health care. That's what you just said.
Everybody who lives here.
Why wouldn't he just say yes? If what he's saying is so righteous, if what he's saying is it is the right thing to do for America, why not just say yes? Because he's bullshitting. He's politicking. And what he's doing is he's trying to literally give you the overlay for the underlay. Everybody who's here, I'm not saying those that are illegal. I'm just saying everybody who's here. Well, it's 500 motherfuckers that's here illegal. Are you saying those two? I'm saying everybody who's here. Why not just say yes? That's exactly what I'm saying. Yes, what you're saying is correct. There's 500 thousand people here that I want to give citizenship to and have my taxpayers pay for their asses. That's what I want to do.
Should get the health care they need so that everyone can be healthy, not get each other sick.
Even if they're illegal.
Even if they're undocumented.
Perfect.
I'll tell you why. Because otherwise, what's happening, people go to the emergency room, the taxpayers pay anyway, people get sicker. So these are human beings who are part of our economy, who are part of our neighborhood. right? Every neighborhood in the city. There's not a sign that says who's undocumented, who's
I got your answer. I understand. Now,
but I want to know, wait, two-way street. So do you agree that people go to the emergency room when they're sick?
I think that we should.
And we end up paying for it anyway.
If you want to change the laws, my answer is I believe we should. No nation, we are a constitutional republic. I revere our Constitution. I revere the rule of law. And I understand, I think, why 99% of people want to be here, because they want what we all take for granted that God has given us. And I want to have a wall to stop the heroin. Let me finish. Stop the cartels.
Yeah, but you're not answering my question.
No, I am answering your question. I want the criminal elements to be vetted, and I want a big door that says, welcome to our family, welcome to our country.
So you want comprehensive immigration reform?
No, well, I'm telling you.
No, but do you want comprehensive immigration reform? Because you got 11 million people here right now.
After we build the wall.
Oh, come on. What about 11 million people who are here?
After we build the wall and secure our borders, my answer is absolutely. We give those highly coveted slots to the people that respect our laws.
Exactly. What is so hard about that? And yes, what somebody who just said that earlier, Agent Black said most people are fleeing New York. They're not just fleeing New York, they're fleeing California too. The two largest, most fucked up cities that are democratically ran, they're all fleeing them. There has literally been a mass exodus from motherfucking New York and from California. All of those motherfuckers from California are moving to Austin, Texas, to San Antonio, Texas, and to Dallas, Texas. And same thing with them motherfuckers from New York. They're moving to all of these other places where it's literally Republican-ran motherfucking old school ass motherfucking laws and motherfucking politics. That's why you have people saying shit like saying don't come from California and try to do or vote the way you did in California here in Texas. Because that's why California is so fucked up. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. He said, glad to have found you. Keep speaking the truth. Thank you so much. Click that like and subscribe button. But think about it. Do you realize that that these people have such a parasitic type of mentality? Or we just gonna come here and fuck all this shit up, and then once we fuck this up, we'll look and find somewhere else to go, and we'll do the same thing and fuck that shit up. Oh wait, here's another place. We'll go over here, and then we'll fuck that place up. Oh wait, it's no good here anymore. Oh, there's another place. We'll go there and we'll fuck all that shit up. As opposed to saying, well, wait, how the fuck did we get here anyway? Why the fuck are the taxes so high in California? Why the fuck is everything fucking taxed in Chicago? Them motherfuckers in Chicago had a sugar tax. They taxed your ass on top of your sales tax. Taxed your ass extra for pop. Taxed your ass extra for a motherfucking juice. Then they turned around and started taxing your ass for every time you went to a grocery store and purchased something and you got a plastic bag, you know, the little jewel bag, that's what we call them, or the Walmart gray bags. They taxed your ass for that. 5 cents. I said, what the fuck are y'all doing up here? And that's what these politicians do. Anything that comes up, they will go ahead and do the shit because they like, we gonna pass on the cost for this shit to the people that bust their ass the most. Which are who? Your middle class, everyday, hard-working fucking people. Sugar tax don't bother me if I'm on public aid. I run my link card or my EBT card. I don't give a fuck about no sugar tax. So you have your lower income people, they ain't got to pay for it. Now the people on the high end of the spectrum, your upper middle class, your rich motherfuckers, they don't give a shit. They make enough money. It don't bother me. Whatever. Who does that leave that's getting taxed the most? The biggest group. Your working everyday middle class motherfuckers. Lower middle class, middle class and upper middle class. Taxed like a motherfucker. The fuck is a sugar tax? Motherfucker, please. That is crazy Just like when you in the state of Illinois, you have to purchase a state plate sticker. Then in Chicago, you gotta purchase a city sticker. So wait, you gonna tax me to drive in the state, and then on top of that, you gonna tax me to drive in the city. And the last time when I was in Illinois, when I lived in Chicago, the plate sticker from the state, that shit I believe was, I want to say $80. And I believe that the window sticker that you had to purchase in Chicago was $90, or was it $100? No, it was $100. And I think it was either $180 or it was $200 for both. Y'all charging me every fucking year to drive in the city that I already pay city taxes in, property tax. Then when you hear a motherfucker like Texas, shout out to Texas, no state tax. Property tax has risen in Texas only because of the fucking economic boom that has been going on here. They can't build houses fast enough here. Why is that? Because they're not taxing your ass for every goddamn thing that you try to do in the city. They are welcoming to business. Y'all know, y'all just heard that motherfucking HP is moving their entire headquarters to Texas. Apple is already here. Amazon just built a massive motherfucking plant here. Somebody else just moved here too. I can't remember who it was. God damn it, who else? Just some other big company just moved here or is in the process of moving here. So when you talking about just saying, what the fuck y'all doing in California? What the fuck y'all doing? Tesla been here for a minute, but I guess they moving their corporate office here too. And it was somebody else. It's somebody else that's here that just said that, yeah, we coming and we moving our shit here. And I'm like, man, so anywhere in the San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas-Fort Worth area, it's booming. They are in just this past election, they were talking about how Dallas is almost blue. Oracle, that's it. Thank you, Brad. Motherfucking Oracle is leaving California, bringing their punk ass here to motherfucking whatchamacallit. So I think it's Dallas. I think it's here in Dallas. Oracle just said that they moving here. So when you talking about all these places, all these corporations that's moving here, you motherfuckers that's on the left, you motherfuckers that's coming with all this other fuck shit, why would you have to move if where you at is so fucking wonderful? If y'all got it figured out, why would you need to move? Makes no sense.
Such a charade. You've got 11 million. It is a charade. Stop it. You are doing, and what your network does too often is tries to distract people.
Well, my network. By the way, there are people on my network that don't like a single word I say. What are you talking about? We're not one monolithic.
I agree you're not a monolith, but too much of the time, what Fox and News Corp do is try and take people's minds off of the fact that they're being screwed economically by the 1%.
We're going to get to that in detail.
No, but you're not answering.
No, but I promise, after the lightning round, which isn't really lightning, we're going to get back to that. I promise.
You're honestly going to tell me why it's okay that the 1% are paying less and less in taxes.
Now that we're back to the lightning round, I want to ask you a new question. And we're going to get back to...
Are you promising me you're going to answer that question?
We're going to get back to immigration. We're going to get back to taxes. I promise you.
Okay. I'll be watching.
Be watching. You're
Joe
sitting
Rogan
right
is
here.
here
You're watching
too.
yourself.
I'll be watching.
There's a monitor right there. You can watch yourself.
I'm watching.
All right. You came and with some of New York's finest. If you go to work every day like the people that are with you to protect you, which I fully support because this is dangerous times, and they are our police officers and they're armed. And we have a big debate because I've been a responsible gun owner my entire life. Somebody calls my radio show and says, what kind of gun should I get, Sean? I'm like, which gun do you want to get trained in the use of? And what safety courses are you going to take? That's how serious. My mom was a prison guard on Long Island. And for 25 years, 16-hour shifts every day.
God bless her.
And she had a loaded gun next to her bed, and she made sure that dopey 10-year-old kid, me, knew how to handle a firearm. So my question is, you have that. Hollywood stars can afford armed guards. Should every New Yorker, should every American have the ability, if God forbid the criminal element invades their home, invades their property, to have a gun in their home to protect themselves?
Okay.
You do.
You're in the same.
Now that's a yes or no question, right? Should every New York citizen have the right to own a gun to protect their home? Watch what this motherfucker says.
Safest big city in America.
I didn't ask you that.
I'm the police force in America. We keep people.
And they are our police officers, and they're armed. And we have a big debate because I've been a responsible gun owner my entire life. Somebody calls my radio show and says, what kind of gun should I get, Sean? I'm like, which gun do you want to get trained in the use of? And what safety courses are you going to take? That's how serious. My mom was a prison guard on Long Island. And for 25 years, 16-hour shifts every day.
God bless her.
And she had a loaded gun next to her bed, and she made sure that dopey 10-year-old kid, me, knew how to handle a firearm. So my question is, you have that. Hollywood stars can afford armed guards. Should every New Yorker, should every American have the ability, if God forbid the criminal element invades their home, invades their property, to have a gun in their home to protect themselves?
Okay.
You do.
You're in the safest big city in America.
I didn't ask you that.
Didn't ask you that.
You preface all the time.
He did not ask you that. You're in the safest big city in America. That still does not answer the question. Didn't ask you that, man. Why can't you just answer the question?
You're the safest big city in America. Finest police force in America. We keep people safe. Crimes.
Never said that it wasn't. Why are we talking about that? You know why? Because he knows his answer is full of shit. I'm telling, like I said earlier before the show started, you know when a person just totally deflects and starts talking about other shit and bringing in other variables that had nothing to do with the question that's being asked, they are trying to filibuster and they're trying to distract you from the fucking question that was asked.
6 years in a row on my watch. I believe right now.
That's true.
It is true. Thank you. I believe right now what's wrong in this country is not that people have rights around guns. It's that there are no gun safety measures like background checks, like a
background checks. I don't buy a gun without getting a background check.
They are background checks. I don't know why the fuck that they love to say that. We need comprehensive background check. They have comprehensive background checks. Fuck is you talking about? Why do you say that they don't? And they do. That's just like saying, yeah, these are fast food restaurants, they don't have toilets. Yes, they do. They're right there. No, they don't. What the fuck you mean they don't? I've pissed in a toilet at a McDonald's. The fuck you mean? I have shitted in a toilet at McDonald's. It was an emergency situation. I had no other options, and I did it. But I'm just saying, why would you say that that's not true when it is?
Background checks.
Now it's sufficient.
I have a gun carry license in New York. I have to walk over hot coals to get.
About the whole country.
Well, it's hard to
and
get.
By the way, ask the NYPD, and they'll tell you they believe in strong gun laws to keep officers and civilians safe.
But my question is simple: does every New Yorker, if they're mentally stable, if they have the background check and they don't have a criminal background or a mental illness problem, do average people, should they have the same safety you have? And if somebody breaks into their house, would you respect their right to have a firearm in their house?
Everyone deserves to be safe. The answer is not for everyone to have a firearm any more than it's for every teacher
to have a firearm. So the answer is no.
I believe people have rights, but I also believe we need background checks. We need an assault weapon ban.
Boom, you heard it?
Okay.
Because right now it's
You see how he slid that shit in there? Do you see how he slid that shit in there? We should have background checks, we should have an assault weapons ban, and So you don't believe this shit. And I'm telling you this, people. You've heard it time and time again. Trust and believe. This ain't no new wave, new age thinking. The shit that these people are talking about is the same shit that they've done for generations. They start with this gun first. They first want to start out with a registry. And that's why they say we need better background checks. That means they want to know what guns you have, and everybody that has a gun, whether it was from 10 years ago or 100 years ago that was passed down to you. We want the name on every gun that's here in the country. Why would you want that? Why would you want it? So when you want to take it, you know exactly what it is you're taking. If there was an executive order for everybody to turn in their guns today, how would they do it? They would have to come into your house and they would have to search your fucking home and take what's in here. And hope for the best. Hope that my guns are here when they come. But if there is a national registry that is established that has every gun registered and has every name to a gun, an address to every gun, then they could absolutely come and say, we know you have these 6 guns here. We got these 2 here at this address and these 2 here. We need them all. Here go the serial numbers that we're looking for. We're matching the serial numbers up to those guns. That's why they want to do it. It's not something that would happen overnight. It's not something that would happen in 6 months. Know and trust and believe this. Gun confiscation would take in America about 10 to 20 years in totality. The point is, they have to get the infrastructure in place to even begin the process. That's what they're trying to do now. That's what this new world order group, this new age group, all these motherfuckers that want to have these gun control, better gun, what they call it, make sense gun laws. It's the beginning of the end. That's what they're doing. They want to make it more difficult for you to get guns, but they now want to get a complete tally of all of the guns that's here. All they have now is an estimate. They don't know if it's 500 million or if it's 1 billion. They don't know. They honestly do not know. That's why they want to start somewhere. We have to. They're telling you that the plan is we got to start with an infrastructure to actually ID what it is we're trying to go get. Like vehicles. Every vehicle that is on the street, there's a VIN number in that vehicle, and it is tied to a driver or a dealership. Or it's in a junkyard crushed. One of those 3 places. It's not a thing where they're going to come and pull the rug from up under you. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. That's not the game. That's not the move that they're making here. We're going to just slowly but surely take a little rock hammer, just like in Shawshank Redemption. We're going to just start chipping at the wall. May take us 5 or 10 years to do it, but we just constantly keep chipping. Yep. No more assault weapons. Yep. We got to register all the handguns. Yep. We don't need handguns anymore. Yep. We know where all the handguns are. We're taking them. Yep. We're going to put a ban on handguns. Only thing you can have is a shotgun. You know what? Now you don't even need a shotgun. If you want to hunt, you go and use a single shot rifle. If you want to hunt, you go and use a bow and arrow. If you want to hunt, you go and use a crossbow. That's what they want to get it to. It's way easier to go and have your soldiers go up against a bunch of fucking citizens with shotguns than it is to go up with a bunch of citizens with AR-15. Yes, they Andy Dufresne in this shit. Oh yes, we'll come and help you we'll do your books for your ward and all that. All the while, I need a rock hammer. What you doing with a rock hammer? You gonna break out of here? I need a rock hammer. You know how long it'll take you to break through a wall, a concrete wall with a rock hammer? It's a small tool, but it's a tool nonetheless. Just like how they tell you a hacksaw will cut through anything. Give me a hacksaw. Man, that bar that you're trying to cut through is 8 inches thick. Give me a hacksaw. It's going to take you forever to do it. It won't take me forever. It'll take me a long time. But it's going to get me where I need to go. That's what this is.
Happening, and every American have a shotgun in their house. Every New Yorker. You're not answering.
What about
You're
all
dodging.
the guns? I'm not dodging. All the guns that are out there that are threatening our officers and civilians alike.
I am asking you, should every New Yorker have the same protection you have?
I believe people have rights.
I love the fact he asked that question. Should every New Yorker have the same fucking protection that you have? And when you ask a politician that, they never answer it.
I believe we need new gun safety
I believe
laws,
people have rights.
and
should they have the right to a gun?
We have a police department, and I've added 2,000 officers on patrol.
What does that have to do with that?
I've added 2,000. I've added 2,000 officers to our department, by the way.
What does that have to do with a motherfucker kicking in my door? What does that have to do with a motherfucker stabbing the shit out of me?
I've added 2,000 police officers to the police force here over the past 4 years that I've been here. How about that? How about that, Sean? That's not what I asked you. Our police officers don't want our citizens to have guns, and neither do I.
Should they have the same protection that you have?
I've added 2,000 officers to our police department, by the way. Thank you. Crime has went down 6% in my since I've been in office.
That's the best way to protect people.
That's the best way to protect.
The best way to protect people is add more police. More motherfuckers who still have to respond is the best way to protect motherfuckers. So like when you look in China and you see somebody go on a fucking stabbing spree, how long does it take the police to respond to that? 25 people get stabbed and killed in China because a motherfucker with a fucking Ginsu butcher knife just started stabbing motherfuckers in the street. What about them 25 that died?
Well, they've had 13,000 police officers added to the Chinese police department. Huh? They did that.
Yeah, but 25 people just died in a town square. That's unfortunate.
But we've added police officers, and that's the safest way to protect our citizens.
Hey, you got a fucking armed security detail with you at all times. They are outside your home when you're sleeping, and everywhere you go, they are with you. Would you give that up?
I've added 2,000 police officers to my police department.
Total disregard for the true safety of the American citizen. For the New Yorker. All of you people in New York should be fucking mortified at the fact that he's cool with that shit.
Hold on. Have a perfect mental health record and have a background check. Would you agree that they have a right
to be safe?
Do you agree they have a right to have a gun in their house?
They have a right to be safe.
Great.
He won't answer.
Do they have a right to have a gun? No, they have a right to be safe.
Can you guarantee their safety? That's what Hannity should have asked. Fuck the percentages. Can you guarantee every New York citizen's safety? Because you take the guns away, I can still get stabbed to death. I can still get beat with a bat. I can still get beat with a crowbar. I can still get beat with a stick. I can still get beat with a brick. I can get beat with a rock, a hammer, a hatchet, whatever the fuck is by somebody who wants to do bodily harm to me, they can. And just think about it. Why would somebody want to take away the way that you defend yourself? When they have that very same type of protection, matter of fact, even more lethal protection around them 24/7. Just think about that. I got a police detail. I got 4, 5 motherfuckers around me with guns at all times. And I don't want you to have any. I only want you to have this kind. How crazy is that? That means I literally don't give a fuck about what happens to you. I want you to be more dependent on me. Because if you don't have a gun, now you hoping and wishing and praying that I got enough police in your area to help you. Now you hoping and wishing and praying that I can give you more resources to help save you. Well, you know what? I can, but I'm gonna have to tax you another 12%. Okay, all right, whatever it takes. I gotta keep my family safe, man.
I'm telling you what I think.
Yes
is
or
the
no?
safest. I've answered you. The safest way to do it.
You're not
is to
answering.
have a police department that is supported.
By the
works with
time you
community.
call the cops, even if it's a great response time, you might be dead.
Again, we just have a different.
And he's smiling while he's saying, again, we just have a different number. I think we have a right to be safe. I don't know about a right to have guns. He thinks the shit is a fucking joke. And most politicians that have this stance, you know why they think it's a joke? Because they are safe. Their safety is guaranteed. That's why it's a joke to them. It's a fucking game to them. It's laughable to them. They can shrug it off. It really means nothing. Because I'm protected. And when I think that my protection is good enough for me, but you shouldn't have that type of protection or anything to actually protect yourself, I don't give a shit about you. Because I think, not because I'm a callous, crazy motherfucker. No. I don't care about you and how you protect yourself because I think I'm better than you. I think I'm more valuable than you. I think that I'm in an elite class of people and that I matter more than you. So every time all you defund gun control, all you defund police motherfuckers, all you smart gun common sense gun law motherfuckers, all of you all know that that's who you're siding with. A person who don't care about you because they think they're better than you. They think they're worth more than you are. They believe because they are the political elite that their lives matter more than yours. Think about that.
You're protected. You have a team around you. Does every New Yorker, if somebody breaks into their house, they're good people, they're law-abiding people, pay their taxes, obey the rules, pass the background check, should they have a right to a gun in their house? Yes or no?
I ain't buying what you're selling.
You're not buying. So
I ain't buying what you selling.
My answer is my answer. You don't get to tell other people what their answer is.
You didn't answer it. All he's saying is that I'm not buying what you're selling. I ain't selling you shit, man. I'm asking you a fucking question. And you keep answering it by saying 2,000 police officers added to our department, and we believe every citizen has a right to be safe. That's what I believe. The very people that vote for you, the very people that live in the area that you are responsible for, are the very same people you like. Fuck them. Fuck that. I want you to come for me for everything. I want you to be the dog at my feet under my fucking table, waiting for the scraps that I decide to give to you. And I want you to love me for it. Think about that. When you have people wanting to take your rights away, that's why. I want you to be totally dependent on me, because if I can get you to depend on me, I control you. Just like a dog. You will lay at my feet and you will wait for me to give you what I want you to have. That's it. That's where the roads lead to. That's where the roads lead to.
Have the right to a gun in their house.
The question here is, how do we make people safe? It is to have.
Question.
Yes, it is.
If that was my question, I would have asked you that.
How do we get guns out of?
You see what he's saying? He said, I want to know if you think people should have guns. And his question is, well, the question is, how do we make people safe? That is such a idiotic type of concept to say, I'm going to figure out a way to make everyone safe. How do you make everyone safe putting laws in place that these motherfuckers who break the law don't abide by it. How do you do that? How do you make people how do you say the goal here is to make everybody safe? You can't be responsible for everybody's safety. It's impossible. It is impossible for one man to make sure that everyone is safe. It's impossible to even, so somebody who's telling you that, they are literally telling, that's just like me saying, it's my responsibility to make sure everyone has what they need. How do you do that? How do you quantify that? What does that look like? What is the reality of that coming to fruition? I'm going to make everyone have what they need. How do you know what everybody needs, first of all? How do you know where everybody is? How do you know what's happening to everybody at any given point in time? How do you know that what you're saying is going to work to where everybody will be safe? Because what happens when you do take all the guns away and people still get hurt? Then what do you say to that, sir? Well, I'm not going to buy what you're selling because I just added 2,000 police officers to the police force. That's what I did. Huh. Yeah, thank you very much.
They're everywhere. They can't be everywhere. They're threatening our officers and civilians.
The answer to your question is New Yorkers that have perfect mental health records and willing to go through background checks should not be allowed to have a gun in their home.
I just don't play by your rules.
Should they be allowed?
No,
Yes
you
or
know,
no?
you do this with everyone.
Dude, there are no rules. I just asked you a fucking direct question that you refuse to answer. You see what I mean? You see what I said earlier about how the politician, how they fucking, all they do is fucking dodge questions that they don't want to answer and fucking lie to you? As opposed, if what he's saying makes so much sense, if what he's saying is so righteous and it's the straight up truth, just answer him and say, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I believe with the officers that I have in place, I believe that with the gun laws that I'm speaking of, I can make every human safe in my city. I can eliminate crime. I can eliminate violent crimes in my city if people follow my plan. If you're that confident, if you have the data to support what it is that you're saying and you know it can work and you can guarantee it, you would do that. You would say that. Why? Because it would bolster your point even more. But when I don't believe the shit I'm selling, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not buying what you're selling. My answer is my answer. Well, you didn't answer it. That's my answer.
Let people define themselves. You want to hear the truth?
Can they have a gun is a simple question if they're law-abiding. Can they have a gun?
You are trying to set up a reality where you get to paint a picture on your own terms. It doesn't work that way.
Mr. Mayor, those guys over there.
How are you painting a picture by asking a simple question that he won't answer? No. What he's doing, and here's what he didn't even realize what he's saying. He's actually doing the very same thing that he's accusing Sean Hannity of, is exactly what he's doing. He's painting his own picture as opposed to answering the man's question. He's telling on himself and don't even realize it. The picture he's talking about that's being painted is him actually painting that very picture that he's saying Sean Hannity is attempting to paint. How can I paint a picture if I just ask a question? Does every law-abiding, background check passed, mentally healthy citizen deserve the right to have a gun? What kind of picture am I painting? I'm asking you a question specifically to a specific group of people. Why would you just say yes or no? If your answer is yes, why wouldn't you just say that? Because your answer isn't yes. Your answer is actually no. And you don't want to tell them that because you know it would look bad and it would fuck up your votes. To tell the average everyday working American in your state, in your city, that you don't want them to have a gun, to the ones that already do have guns, they would find that offensive and wouldn't like to hear it, sir. That's why you're saying what you're saying. And all I'm saying is, how come we as Americans, how come we as black folks, how come we as just people aren't understanding that this is an actual no? How is it that we don't fucking see that? When somebody don't answer a direct question with a direct answer, they're lying. Just accept it, y'all. Take it for what it is. They are fucking lying to you.
What did I say to you guys? I said, thank you for what you do every day. They protect you. You deserve to be protected. You're the mayor of the biggest city in the world.
Deserves to be protected.
But the biggest one.
Everyone deserves to be protected, and that's what we're doing here.
But they can't have a gun, can they?
That's what we are doing.
They can't have a gun.
Again, ask law enforcement if they want everyone to have a gun. That is not the way to keep everyone safe.
So he can tell you directly what law enforcement is saying, but he can't tell you directly what he's saying.
Listen, I appreciate you being here, but that is a simple question, and you are dodging and ducking, and you're flipping and
what
flopping.
I believe.
All right, that's fair enough. You say it's in the wrong hands. Well,
I think it's the wrong hands.
So here's Sean Hannity, that's been financially independent since he's 10. You know all the jobs I've done.
Right, I heard it. But what's
25
the answer?
years.
Do you think
my
the current
question
system's fair?
Do you think that my money that I've earned and saved is in the wrong hands?
I think
that's a yes or no. Do you think the money I've made is in the wrong hands?
Listen to what I'm saying. You think right now your viewers feel that it's okay that the wealthy have as much as they have and pay as little in taxes?
You think I work?
You think it's okay that big corporations pay nothing in taxes?
Do you know how much I made?
Do you think that's okay?
No, corporations pass taxes on to people. Corporations don't
but
pay taxes.
there are corporations that pay no taxes in America.
Listen,
Amazon's one of them.
All I know is
that's okay.
All I know is this: I've always known in my career, and we learned it with Lois Lerner, that I better damn well pay my taxes, because if I don't, I have no doubt that Obama Biden would have read every tax year. Here's what I will say. The kid that started out with no money and started in radio work for free and made $19,000 a year, and I left my home in New York and I went 5 years Rhode Island, 5 years California, 2 years Alabama, 4 years Georgia, and I got lucky. And I got hired here. And I'm asking, you still want 70 cents of every dollar I have, and then you want more if I save too much, and then you want more when I drop dead. And I think you're stealing from me.
I want working class people and middle class people to have a better life.
Do I deserve that money because you say it's in the wrong hands? Is that my money?
This is my general view of the world. You got there with the help of very friendly government policies. I'm not taking away your work. I'm not taking away your work. But the rich have gotten richer for 40 years and paid less and less in taxes. Corporations in America paying nothing in taxes. That's not America. That's not America where the chosen few get all the money.
And here's my thing about that. Y'all may not like this, but this is what my belief is on that. The group of people, the ultra rich, we're talking about the motherfuckers that's making the insane amount of money. The ultra rich, they should pay a tax. They should pay a higher percentage of tax. But it should be a flat tax across the board, and that's it. So let's just say if you make over fucking, I don't know, $600,000, as opposed to paying 70% of taxes, 70% of it goes to taxes, no. 50% of it should go to taxes? No. How about a nice hefty 30? Yes. Yes. If I make $1 million, 30% of that shit, yeah, I can still make it off of 700,000 if I'm in that tax bracket. Yes. But here's why they won't do something like that. Because if they did do something like that, what it would do, it would still allow people to get taxed. You still got income coming in, but it would also allow those people that are making that kind of money, those people that have that kind of money from their jobs, then it would allow them to continue to actually be able to fuel the economy. Now, when you're talking about corporations, you're talking about your Apples, your Amazon, whatever that case is, should they pay more than 30%? Damn right, they should. They absolutely fucking should. Should they pay 70%? No. But yes, they should have a higher fucking tax that they have to pay being fucking Amazon. Yes. Those handful of companies, well, it's not a handful, it's a good portion of those companies that are making all that goddamn money. It's not a thing of just saying, hey, this is what you pay because of what you. Nope, I'm not trying to go through and finagle the fact that, well, you made this, so this should be this, and this is 82%, this is 61.17%. You put a flat tax on it and say, hey, if you're a company, this is what you're doing. These are your earnings. Based on your earnings, you do this. Boom. Right. If it's 28%, or if it's another 35% on top of that, fine. That's what you pay. Because what that does is it lets the corporation know, all right, this is what we got to pay. Cool, this is all, this is what it is, this is what it's going to be. But we're still able to make enough money to where we can still continue to hire motherfuckers. We can still continue to build and expand and do all that other shit. When you have trillions and trillions, you get trillions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, yes, you should be able to kick some of that in. Not to the point to where it's crippling you, but to the point to where you're paying a good portion of the shit because of the amount of money that you are making. That's just me. That's just me.
When you raise their taxes, what do you think they do?
I think the problem with your whole line here is that you seem to think the status quo is okay. And
what do corporations do when you raise taxes?
I don't think your viewers think the status quo is okay.
What do you think corporations do when government like you raises their taxes?
They have to pay their fair share.
No, they pass the costs on to the consumers.
They have to
corporations don't pay taxes. You're right. They pass those costs on to us.
Do you think it's okay? You think it's okay their CEOs making 300, 400 times?
Listen, let me tell you something.
What the workers in their companies are paying?
You're talking to the wrong guy. I'm the blue collar.
That's another thing too. Just like when they bailed out those fucking bankers, when they saved the banks and them motherfuckers still bonused, that was some fuck shit. That was some bullshit. When those motherfuckers went under because they fucked up the market by doing all them fucking loans and all that shit, and then the fucking U.S. government bailed them out, and those motherfuckers still bonus, and they didn't get taxed for that shit, that was straight bullshit. I don't understand. Well, I do understand how. But our fucking government should have said, hey, yeah, we gonna give y'all this money. Oh, and by the way, all y'all bonuses are forfeited. Just saying. Y'all, I be damned if we gonna give you our motherfucking money and then you motherfuckers turn around and bonus yourself another 1.2 million on top of the shit you made. Just saying. And if we gonna, and my thing is too, to bail out them motherfucking banks, they should have taxed their ass back on the repay. Yeah, we'll give y'all this. Oh, but best believe y'all motherfuckers gonna pay this shit back at this motherfucking interest rate. That's higher than what y'all motherfuckers charge. You goddamn right. Take it or leave it. But when y'all on the same gang and y'all getting the same money, y'all putting money into each other's pockets because y'all all up on this other level and everybody's on the take, you won't have that shit happen.
A guy that worked 25 years in
I'm
real
saying,
work.
do you think it's okay? There are CEOs in America making
what I'm most happy about?
200, 400 times what an average worker in a company's making.
I am so happy
I get
that's okay.
that I gave you the numbers under Biden, Obama, and I gave you the numbers under Trump. The New York Mets had Ray Sadecki, Tom Seaver, Jerry Kuzman, Duffy Dyer, Jerry Grody, Ed Cranepool, Bud Harrelson.
Did you know that?
We've never had. You did? That's cool, by the way.
I gave the keys to the city to the 69 Mets. Who are still with us, God bless them, including Cranepool, still with us.
And Bud Harrelson.
And Bud Harrelson's still with us.
God bless him.
I gave each of them a key to the city.
By the way, when do I get my key to the city?
If you join the Mets.
Oh, if I live in the city.
If you join the Mets, you might have a chance. But the bottom line is, I don't hear you saying
you should thank Donald Trump. You know why? Because, listen, I believe in God. I believe God created every man, woman, and child on this earth with all my heart. I need to be a better Christian, but I want to be a Christian. And I really believe that. And the fact that we have the best employment situation since 1969, the lowest unemployment, record low unemployment
what about people's lives?
African Americans, Asian Americans.
Those are numbers. What about what's happened for decades?
Those are jobs.
No,
those are people's jobs.
Listen, what has happened for decades before that? This is what you don't answer. I've been listening for an answer.
I gave you the Obama years.
From Reagan till now, the rich have gotten consistently richer, paying less and less in taxes.
Keep going back to this.
No, because 40 years is a long time, and we have got to break out of it.
Can you
know when the good old days were? We know when the good old days were? Eisenhower and Kennedy, when the wealthy paid taxes at the level I'm proposing, wealth was better shared. There was more investment in. Listen, I run a huge
I'm not talking about government.
Right
Did you ever
now.
run a private business?
Excuse me.
No,
I have 380,000 employees. I have a
not
budget.
government.
I
I'm
have
talking
to
non-government. Did you ever run a private business?
But I'm asking you, and you don't seem to want to answer the question. Do you believe that in the last 40 years, working class and middle class people have not moved forward?
You know,
I think if you asked your viewers, they would tell you they have not moved forward.
My grandparents came to Ellis Island.
That's the point.
Hang on a second.
That's the point. The American dream they had, we don't have right now.
Hold on. They came here with, on average, 10
And
bucks.
there's a point to that. My only thing is, though, when you're talking about the taxes, you have to get there fairly. That's my whole thing. You have to get there fairly. To just think that, oh, we're going to tax all of the rich people and that's going to make everything okay, it's not. You get all types of tax loopholes and all that shit. And what usually happens, because I would do it. If I was a super rich motherfucker, I would first, if you going to tax me, I'm going to try to first pass the cost on to my fucking customers. Then if I can't pass the cost on to my customers, I'm going to fucking downsize and streamline my business. I'm going to do more with less. That's what the motherfuckers at Best Buy told us. Hey, we're moving to a point now where we're just trying to do more with less. So all of you people that are supervisors, y'all got to do manager work and not get manager pay. What? I said, what? What do y'all, wait. You gonna make me a key holder and make me now, I got manager duties and I'm a manager. I got to run the sales floor and all this shit like a manager do, but I don't get manager pay? And then you gonna let go of a manager in my store, so I gotta fill in that gap and I don't get the manager pay? That don't make sense. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. So it's like, that's just the nature of business. Whatever cost I have, if a motherfucker coming into my store and they stealing a bunch of shit, I'm gonna raise the price of my shit. I just am. You keep stealing too much of my shit, I'll eventually just close the store. Fuck it. I'm losing too much money. I'm not making any money. Just like some of those stores in the urban areas in those cities where they fucking rioted, like in Chicago. A lot of them stores ain't gonna come back because they're like, shit, we was losing money here anyway. And the only reason why we opened up stores because it was contingent upon us actually having access to open stores in the city as a whole. That's what the city of Chicago did. They said all of when the big boxes came to Chicago some 10, 15 years ago, about 10 years ago. Yeah. When the big boxes started coming, that was about 15 years ago. That's about right. When the big boxes started coming to the inner city of Chicago, they said, yes, you can come. Here's the tax rate that we're going to charge you. But in addition to you building in these hot spots where you going to make this bread, you also have to put a store in an urban community, hiring urban niggas. And the companies that saw the Targets, the Best Buys, the Walmarts, they saw, man, there's so much money that we can make here. We can take on that extra little bit. It's fine. I'll open up an express Walmart in the hood. I'll open up a couple of them, actually. We can get as much money as we can from the EBT and the WIC and all that shit. And then whatever is not, we can't make up there. The other stores in the more affluent areas, like on the Gold Coast, like in the other rich parts of the neighborhood of the city, your high parks and all that shit where motherfuckers got bread, they'll spend the money there and we'll make it up. So yes, this store that's in the hood year over year only hits about maybe roughly around about maybe 85, 82% to budget year over year. But my other 5 stores that I have in the inner city, they're all over budget, 120, 130, 140%. So it's making it all up. That's just what it is. So it's like when you're talking about saying, how do we do that business? How do we make this business work? You can do that when you have to say, I have to do this in order to do that. But if you make the cost so high for me to where I can't do business and I can't pass it on to my customers, I can't do it by downsizing, I'll leave it. I'll close this store and I'll close that store and I'll say I'm downsizing because of the economy. And there's nothing you can do about it.
For my grandparents. My father grew up poor in Bed-Stuy. Wasn't a good place at the time. My mom grew up in the South Bronx. They had nothing growing up. Absolutely nothing. My father fights in World War II. And
as did my dad.
And he got a 50 by 100 lot in Long Island, $13,000 house. That was success. So the answer to your question is, yes, we can all do better, but we don't. Government's not the answer, Mr. Mayor. You said that money is. You talk a lot about money being in the wrong hands. Wait a minute. Are you saying the people that have money stole it?
Can I tell you the exact quote? Let's be fair.
Money or
I said there's plenty of money in this world.
Oh.
There's plenty of money in this country. It's just in the wrong hands.
How did it get
there? Because of federal policies that took from working people and gave it to the 1%.
Okay, so you want to take it back.
I want working people to get their fair share.
So
should anyone be working for less than $15 an hour?
So let's go. I don't like the minimum wage because
you don't think people. You described your life as a working man. I respect that. You don't think
dishes at
people should get $15 an hour in today's economy.
Because it depends on where you're at.
That get jobs.
And here's my thing.
Wait a minute. Talk about people trying to support their family.
Here's my thing with that. You can't raise minimum wage across the entire country because the cost of living in North Dakota is different than the cost of living in California. The cost of living in Miami is way different than the cost of living in Montana. It just is. So you can't do a nationwide minimum wage. You can't do it. It needs to be dictated upon where you live. I don't know why that's so hard to understand. It's like what I make in construction in Nebraska per hour or whatever would be different than the construction that I make in Texas because of the market. It's more building going on here. So there's more of a demand, more of a supply. I mean, more demand, more supply. Supply and demand. Right. So it's like in Montana, you can buy a great house for $50,000. Where in Chicago, you can buy a great house for $300,000. Same size house. That's one of the best things I liked about Texas here. What you get for your house, the money that you spend for a house here, compared to being in Chicago, it's like night and day almost. Same thing in New York. What I pay for rent in downtown Manhattan is going to be like insane with what I would pay for rent here in downtown Dallas. It's a different cost of living, different industry. Just like when you're talking about working in a blue collar town like in Michigan, you got a bunch of factories, a bunch of factory workers. So that cost of living dynamic is going to be different than being somewhere like Silicon Valley. It's totally different. It's a lot of factories in Grand Rapids and in Holland, Michigan. It's a lot of different factories and factory jobs and things like that. You don't have factory jobs like that in Silicon Valley. You don't. It's not a bunch of factory jobs in Austin. It's a different market. So that would dictate different minimum wage.
You don't think folks who are working hard should get $15 minimum wage?
Mr. Mayor, let me go over the numbers that matter.
This is
here.
what the labor movement fought for years. To get something decent for people.
You said the following: the money's in the wrong hands, and you want to tax the hell out of people.
I do want to, and the people should go to taxtohell.com.
I know.
And they can get all the information about my tax plan, which is the most aggressive.
I have it. I want to go over with you.
Please do.
So the top 1% pay 30% of the taxes. The top 20%, the bottom 50% of American wage earners pay 1% federal income tax. 50% pays.
How, and you see what I mean? That makes no sense at all. Should they be paying the most? Of course not. Should they be paying half? Of course not. But to say that bottom percent pays 1%, that means if I make $13,000 a year, I only got to pay, what would that be? $130 in taxes? Man, please. Shouldn't be 50%. Probably shouldn't even be 20%. But to say if I make $13,000 a year to pay 10% in taxes, I think somebody even said that 10% across the board or some shit like. If I pay 10% in taxes, okay, I get it. 13,000, I gotta pay 1,300. Yeah. Oh yeah, fair play. You know I know about that. I spent 7.5 years in Michigan.
One, and the other 50%, the rich who you want to take more from, they pay it all. So my question is, in your city of New York, let's go over New York, for example. All right, if the top marginal rate, I don't get the deduction any longer because of the president's tax deal.
I think that was a mistake.
I pay higher taxes.
Yeah, but the president was wrong to take away state and local deduction.
You want me to pay more, so he's making me pay more.
He was wrong to take it away. And by the way, middle-class people, working-class people paid for that action by your friend, the president.
What should the federal tax rate be for individuals? 70%.
For folks who make over $2 million income.
70%.
70%.
So that means
when you combine everything.
That means they get to keep 30%.
Yeah.
Okay, you take 70 cents out of every dollar.
Hey.
Again, how long did we have this country? For decades. Dwight Eisenhower.
That means how much money is that? If I make $2 million a year, that means I only get to keep. If they taking away 70, that means I'm only getting 600,000. God damn. Listen to that. Tell me if my math is wrong, because I'm not good at math. I'm good at English and other stuff like that. I'm great at history, but not good that good at math. Am I right though? 70% of $2 million, that would leave me with $600,000. That's insane. That is crazy, man. That's not even, you telling me if I make $2 million, I'm not even gonna bring back $1 million? Come on, man. That's ridiculous. That is absurd to have that expectation like that. 70%. I don't understand how you can tax anybody 70% of anything. How do you tax 70% of anything that I work for, that I earn? How do you take 70% of it? Terry said, every single person has the same capabilities as the next person. Mom and pop shops cannot afford to pay people that much. Minimum wage is for after school or jobs. Most adults don't get paid minimum wage. True. How do you take 70% of anything though? 30%? Yeah. 40%? That's pushing it. But I can't see it going higher than that. If I'm taking half of something from somebody, that's like mob type shit. I'm just saying. That's what that is.
John F. Kennedy, that was the tax rate then.
70.
And what he's saying, you talking about some John F. Kennedy, that's back in the fucking 70s, dude, the 60s. I'm sorry, not the 70s, but the 60s. Totally different market then.
Cents out every dollar. Corporations, what should they pay? What is the top marginal rate for corporations that you want?
I think right now it is way too low. I would like
give me a number. Give me a ballpark.
Ballpark between 40 and 50%.
Okay, no business is going to want to be in business, and they'll pass the cost on to consumers, and they'll lose jobs. Here's what we have in New York.
Problem. Wait a minute.
Wait, whoa. I want you to know what I pay in New York, okay? Because I pay the 9% state tax. I pay the city tax. You have me at 4%, you know, in New York. My income goes to you. And I don't even live here. I don't live in the city. By the way, just saying.
You make a good income here.
Okay, New York City has an extra 4.875 sales tax on top of that. Then if people, out of the 30% you're going to let them keep, you want to then come back later and say, well, if you saved millions, I want 1% more, 2% more, 3% more. You want another bite of the apple after they paid your 70 cents on the dollar.
Right.
And one more thing. And then if you drop dead, then New York gets another 16%.
So what about
and the federal government gets 44%.
What about all the working people who created all the wealth? The guy who owns the factory, the guy who owns the company did not create.
Did you hear that? How the fuck do you tax me 16% of what it is that I have left after you tax me 70% on what I've made if I die? That means if I make $100, you gonna take 70, leave me with 30. Then if I die, you gonna take 16% of that 30 because I died. Man.
The people who did the work created.
Why do you feel you have a right?
They are not getting their fair share.
So for weeks we've shown you these alarming videos of New York City police officers being assaulted and doused with unknown liquids. Some have accused the mayor of preventing New York City's finest from adequately responding or even making an arrest. So what is the mayor doing to combat this shocking new trend? Part 2 of my interview. I mentioned the guys that you came in this building with. I honor them. They, to me, are my heroes. That's my family, my extended family. You know, you can check it out. I applied to be a New York City police officer. And I got a 99 on the test. I even passed the psychological. And then the physical. I was going to do the
Those
job.
standards were lower back then.
You're such a jackass. that was a jackass comment, but it was very good. But here's the point. I love these guys. We see them doused with water. We see these guys now. Those are felony assaults against our bravest.
And those folks are being arrested who did that.
All right. So I want this promise from you, and I hope we'll agree on this. I want every video gone over with a fine-tooth comb. And every one of those people that assaulted your officers, our officers, that put a gun on because their jobs are dangerous every day, that protect and serve, I want a promise from you that you're going to identify every one of those people that attack those guys.
That's what we do. That is what we do.
But that hasn't happened yet.
Oh, come on.
You haven't arrested every one of them by a stretch. How many have been arrested?
They've been identified and arrested consistently. The NYPD does its job.
How many have been arrested?
Wait. Are you saying the NYPD?
So here's my problem with this. How do you go back and spend the resources that you have, the city resources, police resources, to try to prosecute these people that did these, essentially, these crimes? How do you go back and do that? Because the whole problem with that is, it shouldn't have never happened in the first fucking place. Should not have happened in the first place. Because when you do, that's just like trying to go back and trying to look at the video footage and arrest all of the people that were involved in the Watts riots, the Detroit riots, the Chicago riots. That's like going back and saying all of the LA riots from Rodney King. We gonna go back and look at all of the video footage that we have, identify these people, and then lock them up and prosecute them. How do you do that? It's impossible to do, and it's impractical to do. You can't go back and try to get all these people. The fucking city was allowed to, the city allowed the citizens to run amok. And when you allow that, you don't turn around and then say, oh, we're going to come back and get all y'all. I don't even know why Hannity even spent time trying to address this and trying to ask for something like this. Because you literally can't do it. And spending the time and energy and resources to do it, it's asinine. Because there's too much crime going on today, right now, than to have a task force working on looking at video, identifying people, going back to find people that did some shit, and it was the whole goddamn city. There's no way you can do it. It's stupid. I didn't understand that question. That was a dumbass question.
Look at these videos.
Whoa, I'm asking you a question. Are you saying the NYPD is not doing their job? Well, let me give you some news.
I am saying that those cops deserve better than that.
They deserve the very best, and we are arresting each and every one of the folks who did any assaults.
You can look right here. I want you to look.
You're missing. Wait.
Every single guy, every single face we see, will you arrest them?
Sean, anybody the NYPD deems to have committed a crime will be arrested. I want to say,
that's not even possible.
No.
Everybody that committed a crime will be arrested. You ain't gonna go and find all these motherfuckers. And why would you? What you gonna charge them with? How long you gonna lock them up for? What is it? Do you know how long it would take for a prosecuting attorney to actually process all of these fucking arrests if you even able to make them? Do you know how long it would take for the New York City police department to lock all these people up? And click the like button and the subscribe button if this is your first time checking out the show. But do you know how it's impossible to do?
Professionals in the NYPD that they are going to follow.
I'm gonna go find that one guy.
That did anything
Why do you make this so hard?
I'm gonna go find this kid.
You're playing a game.
I'm not playing a game.
This is a serious thing.
No, Mr. Look.
I'm gonna go find that kid and lock him up. Put him in
Do
juvie.
you not think the NYPD?
I'm gonna go find that guy that threw that bucket. Lock him up.
My question is the mayor of New York City. You are their boss.
Answer the question. Do they know how to do their job?
Again, you get your own show. When I run for president,
I just don't hear you answering.
Right. Here's what
I'm going to tell you. They know how to do their job. They know how to do their job. They have brought down crime consistently. We're the safest big city in America.
I give you credit.
Why don't you just respect the fact that these guys know what they're doing and they're going to bring everyone to justice?
Okay, you made.
Because I know that.
You made your.
I know that.
But here's my question for you: every person on video that is
everyone who's committed a crime will be brought to justice.
Every single person.
Everyone who's committed a crime will be brought to justice.
Will you promise?
This is incredible.
Yeah, how much time do I get for hitting a police officer with a bucket?
Crime will be brought to justice. That's America.
Is everyone in that?
How do you do that? Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it.
Professionals who are police officers know who commits a crime, and they will bring them to justice.
Is that video evidence to you of an assault?
Why do you not respect the NYPD enough to believe they know what they're doing?
That's a silly statement. We're an NYPD hat and shirt.
How do you? What's the penalty for locking somebody? How do you lock somebody up for throwing a bucket of water on them?
Don't play a game.
Oh, you sprayed that water bottle on me. You gonna get 6 months.
Will you promise to arrest every person? Will you promise to do it?
I'm not going to personally arrest them. The NYPD will arrest them, and they know what they're doing.
And you promise to try to arrest everyone?
Of course, anyone who commits a crime of any kind, we're going to arrest.
He should have just told Hannity, like, look, man, this shit ain't gonna happen.
You're playing the game, man. Stop it.
No, that's not a game to me.
You are playing a game.
That's not a game.
Because you have to acknowledge.
And to his point, I agree. Like, dude, this is an asinine thing to ask. That's like asking everybody who's ever lit fireworks in a city where fireworks are illegal to go and get them.
IPD, and I put 2,000 more officers on patrol, and this is an extraordinary police force that is getting better all the time and working more and more closely with communities, and that's going to take us forward. But this stuff you're talking about, that's a smokescreen. They know how to do their jobs.
As long as
they know how to do their jobs.
Mr. Mayor, this is not a game to me. As long as they're all arrested.
It's a game if you think they don't know how to do their job.
Slow down.
It's a game if you're trying to literally hold an entire city of people accountable and arrest them for petty crimes. And then you already have a backlog criminal justice system. Now you're going to tie it up even more, double and triple the amount of cases with petty crimes. That's stupid. Y'all wasting time right now.
Stop. He got the cops first from Albany, the money for the cops. He did. It's fact.
Okay.
And then
Rudy implemented
and then
it.
Bloomberg.
It was called a racist.
And then Bloomberg, and then me. But here's the thing. 6 years in a row, crime goes down. We've improved the relationship between police and community. We've done things that have not been done before, but have bonded police and community together. We've retrained the entire police force.
Yeah.
And we've added 2,000 more officers on patrol. Those are the facts.
I'm going to say this. I'm never going to agree with you. You drive me crazy. And you don't answer questions, you duck a lot. But thank you for coming in. And I take very seriously those men and women. That's my family.
I get all of that, but this was not a good question to ask and to debate over because it's literally something that could not happen and won't happen. We've never, as a country, went back and locked up everybody that rioted. Back with the King riots, back with the Martin Luther King riots, the Rodney King riots.
I'm going to have to pay more taxes. If you could become
Never
president, we're screwed.
So kids can have pre-K.
You want to steal my money? You tell me
kids can have pre-K.
How generous
So
I am. I
people
give
can
most of my
have
money away
healthcare.
anyway. I don't need it.
That's crazy.
All right, so we covered a lot of ground with Mayor de Blasio. Get right back to our interview where I asked the mayor to explain his party's extreme abortion agenda and whether he thinks there should be any restrictions on the procedure at all. Pretty simple question. Does he answer it? Take a look. Okay, now, we have a lot of controversial issues. Do you support any restrictions on abortion?
Look,
that's a simple question.
It's a simple answer. I believe in Roe v. Wade. I believe the decision is between a woman and her doctor.
Right, but
now, to his point, he basically just said yes. He basically did. I'm going to give him that. In all fairness, he did. Now, Sean Hannity going to try to stretch this shit out, but he basically said, what the fuck everybody is, I'm pro-choice. Roe versus Wade, what's happening today, what they try to do, where they get to abort a baby at 9 months. He basically saying, I'm with the shits. Let's do it.
What's gotten controversial is, for example, in Virginia, when you have a bill proposed that would allow during birth dilation abortions, and a governor of Virginia that said, well, first we're going to birth the baby and make the baby comfortable, hang on, then we'll let the mother decide. Do you support any restrictions on abortion? No, that's a simple question.
It's a simple answer. I believe in Roe v. Wade and the choice.
Roe v. Wade would send it back to the states.
Again. What you're going to do, and I respect that this is your job, I have a job to do too. Your job is to try and make this sometimes a cartoon, and I'm trying to tell you what this is about: a woman's right to choose, which is under attack.
Okay, right I live in New York. I have many friends that are Democrats and consider themselves pro-choice. But, for example, do you think a woman in the 9th month, putting aside health, putting aside life of the mother, do you support any restrictions until the baby's born? That's a simple question.
No, I believe it's a smokescreen because it doesn't happen in America. Women make this choice. It's a sacred choice for women.
There are now 10 states that are debating whether or not you can have
a sacred choice for women.
10 that are allowing people to have an abortion up until the moment of birth. Do you support that?
Listen, here's the problem with this whole discussion.
You won't answer.
No, the problem is that women make this choice. It's a very difficult choice. It's a very personal choice. And what we need to respect is that's not a choice any woman wants to make.
Okay. 8 months into pregnancy.
Overwhelmingly, Americans believe in protecting the right to choose.
I'm asking what you believe. You want to be president 8 months into a pregnancy.
I told you what I believe.
I don't understand your answer. Here's my simple question.
See, he can't just come out because, like you said, you want to be president, don't you? You want to run. You want to run for president. But what he's saying is, do you support the shit? And what he's saying is, I'm supporting Roe versus Wade. So if that's the shit that's going on, I'm with it. Kill the baby when it's a baby. Plain and simple. I don't care if it's 3 months or if it's 3 hours after being born. Kill it. A woman want to kill it. That's what he's saying. That's what I would have said. I said, oh, so you are for it. Because you're not saying that you're against it. You're for it. I would have painted his ass into a corner to say, so you're okay with a woman killing a baby that has just been born at 9 months in the emergency room, in the birthing room. You're fine with that. Talk Roe versus Wade, say either yes or no to that. I'd have painted him into a motherfucking corner with that one.
8 months into pregnancy, should a woman be allowed legally to have an abortion?
Again, I've told you I believe women's right to choose, period. This is a smokescreen.
Yes.
It's a smokescreen. No, I'm not answering.
Okay.
And here's my thing with when it comes to just the abortion thing. Years ago, I understood the whole Roe versus Wade thing. However, in today, when I say years ago, I'm talking 40 years, 30 years ago, goddammit. With what we have as far as the advancements in, number one, medicine for birth control pill, being able to take the morning after pill, and then with the old tried and true adoption agencies and things like that, I don't believe that there is even a purpose for an abortion, barring these two things: medical deformities or rape. And that rape should be documented. Because even then, if you do get raped, if you go to the hospital, you get a morning after pill anyway. So essentially, it should just be for birth defects. Unless a kid gets molested or something like that and don't tell nobody and then turn up, something. I mean, just something that doesn't happen too often. But other than that, with what we have as far as contraception, there should be no reason for abortion in today's world. It just shouldn't be. Just like there's no reason to have a movie on VHS. There is no reason to have a need for a VHS player or a VHS tape. It just isn't. In today's world, everything is digital, everything is digitized. It's either on DVD or it's on the cloud for download, or it can be streamed from some site over the web. There is no need for a VHS player. Unless you just feeling nostalgic and just want to watch it. So that's my whole thing with that.
I'm answering my way. Let's move on. I want to ask you, the Green New Deal. Mm-hmm. Here, let's go through the yes or no's first, and then I'll let you expand on it. I know what you said about buildings. We're not going to build it with glass, and we're not going to build them with, what do you call it? Glass and steel.
Glass and steel. There you go.
Okay, there you go. I do this for a living.
I say.
And so I told you a little bit about my background. We had a little talk before we came on air. That's 20 some odd years of my life blue collar. My dad worked for the city of New York.
I love my VHS tapes. I got the
guard.
original Lion King.
All my family were New York City cops. Only 2 were FBI guys.
And if you watching the Lion King on VHS, then sir, you right. You should go right ahead. But you should have to forfeit all digital content.
Out of people that want to build with glass and steel, and you're going to put the restrictions on it, my mind goes to my friends. I have friends that are cops, firemen, steel workers, plumbers, electricians.
Are you concerned about people having jobs?
No. What I'm concerned about, your plan will prevent tall buildings from being built in the city.
That's not true at all.
But it's going to cost more, according to your own words.
It's very clear, Sean. You want to build a skyscraper? You can still build a skyscraper. We want people look all over New York City.
Sign the dotted line. I want to build.
There you go. All over New York City, you see cranes, you see construction workers, you see a lot of employment. I believe in that. On my watch, again, 500,000 new permanent jobs and a huge number of construction jobs.
That answered my question.
So, no, I'm coming to it. So what we say is you cannot build the buildings that we used to build that create a huge amount of greenhouse gas emission. You need to build buildings that are clean. There's a huge amount of work in that. We need buildings to be retrofitted. We're going to train workers to do that. There's
Who's going to pay for it? Who's going to pay for the retrofit?
The building owners, when they get the retrofit, make the money back over time because they don't spend as much on energy.
Do you know how much retrofitting could cost a building in New York?
Sure.
Millions.
You know what? Something I just recently learned about America when it comes to being clean. I mean, not clean, but being green. We are the greenest country in the world. When it comes to pollution, when it comes to alternative energy sources, all of that shit, carbon footprint and everything, we are number one. Have been for years. My question is this. If this is to help the environment, when it comes to the a clean or green environment, why would we, since we're already leading the pack, why would we put ourselves in a position where we could potentially weaken our economy and put more strain on our citizens to try to cover the cost of going greener than what we are, when the rest of the entire world, who all play a part in this global warming, global whole project of being clean, aren't even on the level we are. So however green we want to be, I'm fine with that. But when you're talking about green, it ain't just where you're at. It's a whole global thing. Everybody got to get on board with this. Why would we try to go, if we're trying to get to 100 and we're already at 50, but the rest of the entire fucking world is at 5? Why are we trying to get to 70 and take these huge leaps and bounds trying to get to 100 still? So we can be like, see, we at 100. It's the other 90% of the world that ain't here. When it can potentially become more of a financial strain on us. Have you seen how nasty and dirty these other countries are, like India, China? Fucking filthy. Or as Trump would say, shitholes. Why would we push ourselves to the limit? Push it to the limit. The limit. And put that strain on us when everybody else is all the way in the back of the bus. Back in the back. Why are we trying to be way past everybody? Not the fact that we can't be a leader and lead the way, but to what extent do we overextend and strain ourselves to where we are putting a huge strain on our people, our economy? I don't understand that. That makes no sense.
And that's what we need.
And you know what I think they're going to do? Because I always say that corporations don't pay taxes. They pass it on to consumers. They're going to raise the rent, unless, of course, you confiscate the building, which you said you might do if they raise rent.
No, wait, we didn't say anything
like
that.
But they're going to raise the rent on people, so the people are going to pay for the retrofit.
We are going
Donnie
to demand a building
Brian,
owners
there's an article from
green,
The Economist in
stop
June
the greenhouse gas emissions that are killing all of us.
2019.
I know you care about your children, your grandchildren. I care about my children, their grandchildren.
Everyone in the city.
So we cannot go on this way. We need a Green New Deal, and one of the key things is to make sure buildings don't emit what they used to. Now, that means a lot of jobs for people to fix those buildings, retrofit those buildings, build them green. And I assume, and I know,
it's going to cost more.
Those building owners are doing very, very well, can handle the upfront costs, and they make it back because
you say that as if these people have unlimited resources. There are some people that I know that own apartments that have lost money on apartments. There are people that I know that own buildings that have lost money on buildings.
You, but this is something where you make the money back. But here's the option: if we don't do something,
right,
then this earth is in great danger. We're the city that had
How many years do we got left? How dangerous is it?
It's very dangerous. I believe the UN estimate.
And here's my thing: if what they're saying is true, because you have people on both sides that say there's no such thing, ain't shit gonna happen to the earth. It's been here a billion years, it'll be here a billion more. Well, let's just say that it ain't. If it ain't, and it is in trouble, it's a global thing, not an us thing. That's all I'm saying. And if you're saying that China is doubling what our pollution is, no matter what the fuck we do, China's still gonna fucking fuck it up for everybody. So I don't understand, like, what would we really be doing here then? If they not gonna be on board with the shit, then yes, we can do what we can, but why would we go that extra step and do all of this extra work and put the strain and the hurt on us and our people when it's going to be for naught anyway?
Earth is more and more endangered. Sandy, you saw what Sandy did. Hurricane Sandy in New York City. Okay? Look at $40+ billion in damage, lives, dozens of lives lost. We have to change. This is the way. Buildings are one of the biggest emitters out there. We have to do something about it. This law in New York City is the toughest in the entire world. Give me the materials.
What are the alternative materials?
I will happily get you a list of building materials.
You don't have the list.
But the point I'm making to you is, if we do the status quo, we are endangering the future of this city and this nation.
Okay,
period.
so
wow,
that
see,
means
Joe, that's way out my league there. I didn't know that.
Hundreds of millions of dollars in additional cost to build a new building and retrofit an old building. Hang on, those costs will be put on the residents of New York.
So you want to do nothing?
I didn't say I want to do nothing.
So wait, you're not giving me an answer. What do you want to do?
Honestly,
How do you want to stop
I
global
don't buy
warming?
into this UN hysteria, but that's a separate
You don't
issue.
think there's global warming?
I think there is absolutely issues.
Yeah.
We need to be good stewards. Let me finish. Of our environment, and by being good stewards. But on the other hand, we have to understand something. The lifeblood of America's economy.
He didn't answer the question.
Wait. You're not answering.
He got him on that one.
Believe
It's not that
in
hard.
global warming?
Here's what I'm-
And here's what he
Of
should have
the
did.
lifeblood.
Here's what Hannity should have did. He should have just conceded and said, "I don't know. I don't have a plan. That's not my thing. I don't know." But the fact that he opened that door and he flipped that shit back on him, to de Blasio's point, what is your plan? Do you think global warming even exists? He didn't answer the shit. And I would have said, well, I really don't know. But I do think that we can do common sense type of shit. But to try to say we're going to go back and retrofit all buildings to be green, who going to pay for that? We're going to change out everybody's power. We're going to stop using coal. When we use coal to actually build the shit that we use, like windmills and shit like that, that shit makes no sense. We don't have batteries strong enough to power shit like buildings. We don't have solar panels that can power fucking big ass buildings. We don't have that shit. We don't have motherfucking windmills that can last long enough to power cities' electricity. We don't have it. Windmills only last like 8 to 10 years. Did y'all know that? Windmills last like 8 to 10 years before they're no good. Like literally, shit was we can do with. So them big dumbass blades that they put on these big dumbass parts that they put on these long ass wide load trucks that cause traffic and all that shit on the highway when you drive. Like, man, why the fuck is traffic like this? I'm trying to drive to Memphis to see my uncle. And it's a big dumbass truck driving windmill parts on it, fucking it all up. That windmill is only good for 8 to 10 years. And it's being made in a plant that's using coal to build it. Ain't no battery ran or no windmill operated fucking plant making windmills. See what I'm saying? Now imagine when you put that windmill out in the sea and it's being eroded by the salt water. Probably don't even last that long now. The maintenance on the motherfucker to get it fixed and shit. It ain't like they just go in, replace the innards, and then that's it. No, they have to tear that motherfucker out and put in a new one. It's that fucked up and worn out.
Follow me and you're going to get your answer. The lifeblood of every economy in this world is oil, gas, and coal.
Yes.
Now, in the new Green Deal, in 10 years, it says it wants to eliminate all use of oil, gas, and coal. Do you support that?
I support us as quickly as possible.
Not answering again.
If you haven't even let the sentence finish. First of all, you didn't answer, so I'll start and then I'll give
When
you a
you
chance.
get your
He's
own,
right.
I'll make a deal with you.
I believe.
When I'm running for president and you get your own show, you get to ask the questions.
Well,
on my show, I'll ask the questions.
But don't you?
And that's what he should have said the first time when he asked him about the global economy, global warming shit. That's what he should have said. That's exactly what he should have said. He caught on to it late. I don't know if a motherfucker whispered it in his ear or some shit like that, which probably would happen, but he caught on to it too late.
You guess you don't have an honest opinion?
I have an honest opinion.
Okay.
My job is to
answer
ask you
global
questions.
warming or
Do you
not?
want to be president?
Yes.
Okay, answer my question.
Is there global
I will
warming or
ask you
not?
again. Oil and gas are the lifeblood
We
of
have
our
to move
economy.
off fossil fuels. We have to make sure people in those
How
industries...
long would you ban it?
As quickly as possible. We have to make sure people
many
in
years?
those industries get jobs
The new
first.
Green Deal says 10
Listen.
years.
Get off fossil fuels,
many years?
but get people in those industries
got it. How
jobs
many years?
in the green as quickly as possible.
Okay, Solyndra didn't work out. All the Green New Deals of Obama didn't work out.
So wait a minute. You're saying to me you do not believe in global warming.
I am saying to you just the opposite.
Yes,
I am
indeed.
saying to you we should be good stewards of our environment, and I
So
am
what do
saying-
you want to do different?
And I am recognizing.
What do you want to do different?
I am recognizing a truth that you fail to recognize: that every economy in this world is run on oil, gas, and coal. And if America gets off it, as the Green New Deal that you support has in 10 years, you will watch the greatest depression in the quickest period of time,
So,
and it will
Germany
destroy
in depression?
Americans. No.
And here,
Germany, where they've
They
moved,
import natural gas from that idiot Putin.
Germany that has moved to renewables so aggressively.
No, they haven't.
Yes, they have.
And
they are.
Merkel
Nobody
just signed
actually
a
is totally
$7 billion
dependent on
deal to
renewable
make
energy.
Russia rich again.
The question is, and you know,
This isn't your show again.
The
It's my
question
show.
is,
See what it says up there? Hannity. It doesn't say the Blasio.
And see, here's the thing.
I ask the questions you want to be
Here's
answered, right?
the I guess the answer to
we have
this.
to get off fossil fuels because it's causing.
You can wean off of fossil fuels to a degree.
We can turn to renewables.
What
We
they
can
need
create
to do
jobs
is
with renewables. We can
everybody in the
protect our children
globe
and
You think you
grandchildren.
can is what you're saying. is
has
you
to
think we
get
can
together while they arguing and going back and forth. Everybody on the globe has to get together, and you have to come up with a global plan to say, hey, we gonna move this to this percentage, this to this percentage, and if it takes 10, 20, 30, 50, or 80 years to do it, fine, because the technology for renewables like wind, battery, solar, all of that stuff, it is not up to par to where it can actually replace those fossil fuels. It's just not there. So you're trying to force something. You can't force technology into a space that it can't handle. You can't. You can't do it. The shit won't work. So I don't know why they're trying to do that, because they want to be the ones, we the ones that started it. We the ones that did it. That don't work that way when it comes to technology.
now this generality that is climate change, which fits every climate condition. Even Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's chief of staff said, Green New Deal had nothing to do with climate change. It's about an agenda.
Yep.
All right, moments ago, I pressed New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio.
And I
on
said, I
his
think
big
the last
government
thing they
agenda
talked about
and
was
even
like
had
food
him
lunches
explain
and
his
school
support
lunches
for
and some
meatless
shit like
Mondays
that.
for students. Take a look.
Right, yeah.
I want to go over two.
I'm not going to do that. That's enough of that. But that's the thing when it comes to that whole global thing. It is a global issue. It is not an American issue. It is not a Green New Deal issue, because we ain't going to put together a Green New Deal and then the rest of the country is going, other world is going to say, we're going to do what y'all did. That's not going to happen. China is so far behind and so far away from going to green, it's ridiculous. And they got the most motherfuckers on the planet. So it ain't happening no time soon. So if you're gonna do something like with the Paris Accord or whatever, then you need to get motherfuckers together and say, hey, this is what we all can do. Here's what we can actually make small adjustments here and there. And we get there, and then when technology is at a point to where it has caught us up to that, then we can do this. But until then, it ain't shit we can do. We're trying to get you're trying, what they call it, squeezing blood from a turnip, trying to get blood out of a turnip. It ain't gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. So what did he say? He said, fuck global warming. Fuck a global plan. That's New World Order shit. Technology already is 150, I guess that's supposed to be years ahead. 100 and something ahead country. World doesn't need gas. Would mess up the economy. World doesn't need gas, I guess. I don't know. That was kind of weird. But I'm just saying it just wasn't put together well enough. I didn't understand it. But I'm just saying we're not at that point yet. We're just not there. And until we get there, it's really no point in trying to have that conversation to say we're going to do this big deal and that's going to be it. It just makes no sense. But I guess that pretty much wraps it up as far as what I wanted to point out. My whole thing is just that politicians and relationships, personal friendships, all of that shit alike, we got to get to a point, and I hope that we can get to a point to where we can actually have direct conversations with each other and just be transparent and just say what it is we mean and mean what we say without all the extra red tape, without all the extra fluff, without the long drawn out stories and all of the underlays for the overlays and all of just the dodging, the bobbing and the weaving. If we can get away from that, we can actually build and get, not just build something to be better, but we can actually get a true understanding from each other, which would make us better people, which would put us in a better situation as human beings, society, whether you're Democrat or Republican, independent, libertarian, whatever you want to call it. Can we just get to a point where we can actually have honest conversations with each other and just tell each other what it is that we're about, what it is we want to do. And those that like it will support it, and those that don't, they won't. When you're in a relationship with your loved ones, with your significant other, your boo thing, your side piece, your left piece, your right piece, your back piece, your front piece, whatever the case may be, can we just be honest and have a frank conversation and say, this is what it is, this is what I want, take it or leave it. You ask me a question, I'm going to answer it honestly. Are you going to leave your wife? No, I'm not. Hey, baby, you going to ever leave your husband? I ain't. Can we get to that point to where there's just an honest conversation that can be had between people to say, hey, now I at least know where I stand and I can move on from there. That's all I ask. That's what I want for us. Republican, Democrat, Trump, Biden, whatever it is that you are, be able to just have a conversation with someone that don't necessarily agree with you or support what it is you support, and be able to articulate that point and be able to articulate what it is that you truly mean, so that even if I don't agree with what you're saying, I at least know what you're saying. I hope that this video helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I want to give a shout out to my man Illa Dre, who sent your boy a $2 donation. I want to send a shout out to Mr. 804, who sent another $2 donation. I'm going to check the PayPal and see who else donated over there, and we're going to get out of here. I really enjoyed this show. I hope that this show helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I hope this helps us communicate better. I hope that this helps us learn how to articulate our points to each other so that we can understand what we're saying. And God damn it, when somebody asks you a question, just fucking answer it without all the extra bullshit behind it. Sometimes a yes or no will suffice. Sometimes I don't know works. You ain't got to put on airs and act like you know every goddamn thing. Just sometimes say, hey, I'm ignorant to that. I don't know about it. That was just like when somebody put in there about the earth and all of the years of the earth and all that shit. I said, hey, man, I don't know about that. That's something you just showed me or educated me on. I don't know about that. I'm okay with that. And you should be too. Want to give a shout out to my man Scott. You hit your boy off with $5. And wait, hold on. I think Scott said something. Let me go check that. Yeah, he did. Let me see what he said. He donated to me the other day. He said, question. He said, what are your thoughts on 300 Blackout and the raid in Polymer 80 and their clients by the ATF days after meeting with Biden on gun policy? So I can answer part of that question. I don't know about the raid on Polymer 80 and their clients by the ATF days after meeting with Biden on gun policy. I don't know about that, but 300 Blackout, I can. 300 Blackout is like 223 or 556. It is a subsonic round. It has pretty decent stopping power, but as far as the sound of it, it's not as loud as 556 or 223 or 308 or something like that. As far as self-defense, it's a good round. It is a good round. The only thing that I don't like about, or not even don't like about it, but the only drawback I see to that round is popularity. It is not a widely used round. There are a lot of 300 Blackout, but if there is ever an instance of just ammo availability, 300 Blackout will be one of the first ones that will become unavailable. That's the only drawback I see to 300 Blackout. When you're talking about having a self-defense round, put people down, you don't want it to be real loud and all that good shit. You want to be able to use it in your home, close quarters, whatever the case may be. I think that's fine. I just think that because it's not as popular as 223 or 556, then that could potentially be a problem with just the availability of that round. That's pretty much it. When just like my rifle is chambered in 556. So that means it shoots 556 and 223. So I have it chambered that way for that reason. If I need to find some ammo right now and then see how scarce ammo is, if I need to find some ammo right now and I'm looking for 223 and there is none, but there's 556 available because it's such a very close round, you can use either one, then I would go ahead and buy 556 and be just fine. I can load up 5.56 and 2.23 in the same rifle and bang, 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 bang. It's gonna shoot just fine. I ain't gonna miss a beat. You can't do that with 300 Blackout. Now, 300 Blackout, the thing about that too, I mean, when you're talking about 223, 5.56, 300 Blackout, those are just pretty much just changing out the uppers. You take the lower of a AR-15 and you take off that upper, which is the barrel and the bolt carrier group and all that good stuff. You take that out, and you could take 223 upper, put it on that same AR-15 lower, and you just change the caliber. It's that simple. So it's just a matter of just saying what the actual availability of that round is the only drawback that I could potentially see as far as like self-defense. Now, if you talking about shooting animals and all that type of shit, then that's a weaker round in that respect, in that regard, because of the velocity of it. You could have potential issues and say, nah, that may not be the way I want to go. But as far as stopping people, it'll put somebody down just like a 223 or 5.56 would. Maybe not, it don't hit as hard, but it's still going to put them up on the ground. So that's pretty much it on that. But yeah, I'm not too familiar about that polymer 80 thing. Send me that if you got like a video or something on it. I'd definitely love to take a look at it. I'll probably just Google it at some point now anyway, just to see it. But other than that, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Salute and shout out to all my mods. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for doing what y'all do. Polymer 80 are the build kits for handguns. Oh, that's what the handguns are made out of? Oh, I thought he was saying like it was a group of like a company or something. And the raid I thought it said the raid on Polymer 80. The raid in Polymer 80 and their clients by the ATF. I don't know what the raid in means. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't know. Let me try to look that up and I'll see if I can address that. But send me something about it. If you're just talking about the polymer that they use to build handguns, you sound like they rated that and said that they like ain't going like people can't make that shit or something. I don't know. But just send me that. We could talk about that, we can talk about that later. But yeah, send me exactly what you're talking about. You said it is a company. Okay, Polymer 80 is a company. The build kits are here. Also, it's I think I got it. So it's Polymer 80, the company that builds kits for handguns for companies. So if I'm Redmond Arms and I want to build my own firearm and I want to build me a handgun, I will go to Polymer 80 and say, hey, here's what I drew up. Here's my specs. I want you to make this for me. And they would make my frames for my gun. That's if I'm putting that together. So, and they're saying that the ATF actually raided them and shut them down. Is that what we're saying? I don't know, but hopefully I kind of put that together. But if not, send me another email or something, Scotchin, or who else was talking about that? Wolf Bear. Send me an email and let me know what that full thing is. Am I on? Okay, cool. Yeah, that's some wild shit. Yeah, send me the details about that. Let me take a look at it and see what's actually happening with it. I love to do that. So, okay. All right, but yeah, thank you everybody. I appreciate you guys. I was talking about my mods. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate my mods. I appreciate everybody that came over here for the first time to check out the show. Please make sure you click that like and that share button and click that donate button. I appreciate all donations. Thank you so much. I need donations. Please send me the money. Hey, Dirty, baby, I got your money. Don't you worry. Hey, send me that money. But I just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching this on the replay. Click a like and also please continue to comment. I love the comments that I get from sensible people. I definitely try to respond to those. If you got questions and all that kind of stuff, you can always email me if you need something or need a question or something. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys. Y'all have a great night. Until next time, remember this. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Make sure y'all check out the United Guns of America. That's my gun channel. Subscribe to that and tell me what you think about it. Y'all have a good night. I will talk to y'all later. Oh, and I did get my okay from my homeboy V City, so I can use that new beat. I just got to work on getting it together. So matter of fact, I'm going to outro with that on tonight. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. Y'all have a good night, man. I love y'all. See y'all later.
You speak me.